All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakak Dash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. We're out here once again with another weekly edification. Let you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans know you are the children of Israel according to the Bible. All right, the so-called white man is Esau according to the scriptures. All right, and also the wicked. This here place that you know of is America's Babylon the Great, and we're in the last days of this here kingdom as it's going down, man. Also to bring forth what? Prophecy, man. All right, because all that you see is going on around you. You know, for the question that that's going on around you, more or less to say, is what? It's prophecy. Let me read a quick scripture real fast to kind of back that up a little bit. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him, saying privately, tell us when these things shall be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world. So the ending of that there passage we was just reading was saying, hey, tell us the signs of thy coming and the end of the world. So right now, to answer the question to what's going on with all these different things, you know, people have in their mind what's going on out in the world. Why is everything the way that it is? All right, these are all a part of the signs of the coming of the Lord, man. These are all the things that would be happening before the day of the Lord were to come, man. These would be the things that was going to so-called usher him in. All right, you know, we can read a little bit of this. As a matter of fact, let's continue on. And Yahweh Shah answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. All right, we've seen that over a long period of time, you know, especially as, you know, we can read further down in the scripture about how this gospel was going to be preached to the four corners of the earth. What gospel? The gospel of this here truth. Like as I opened up telling you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that you are the children of Israel according to the scriptures. All right, this is Babylon the Great as you know it, you know, or as you read about in the scriptures. All right, and Esau, Edom is the wicked that the Bible speaks about. This is actually going into what? These signs being revealed unto you, man. All right, these are actually the how do I say, the unmasking of the wicked. You know, like the scriptures say, the man of sin being revealed, the son of perdition. All right, this is all going into what? That new gospel being preached. All right, going back into what? Exposing those false, how you would say, religious leaders. You know, for the longest time, we've been praying to what they call the other white meat. All right, in the scriptures. So you have all these other people coming in the name of the Lord, but they're not really of the Lord, man. All right, you even have some people that will come out and claim that they're, you know, they're in the truth, but they're not actually, you know, leading the people to salvation. They're leading people down to the slaughter, man. All right, so let's continue on in Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And you know, this is a hot topic, Lord's will. We'll be able to get to this as well in you know, further down in the lesson about the wars and rumors of wars, because hey, contrary to popular belief, you know, you have a lot of these things that's going on in the news right now with Russia, the Ukraine, China, Taiwan. You have what do you call Turkey and Syria. You have Israel and Iran. All right, you have all these other countries that's going back and forth with their wars and their rumors of wars. So again, these are the times that the scriptures talked about the end of the world and the things that's coming to pass. Because why? The Lord will give us signs, man. All right, it's not just a small conflict here or there. It's major conflicts around the world, man. So this is what the scriptures talk about in the end days about the coming of the Lord. All right. So going back to Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6, it says, you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. And that's exactly, you know, to answer the question, hey, what's going on out here in the world today, man? All right, these would be the signs of the coming of the Lord, man. All right, wars, rumors of wars. Like I just went through there, a whole list of these things going on, man. You got North Korea, South Korea, China and Taiwan, also China and the Philippines. But, you know, America's behind all of that. You know, Russia, Ukraine, you know, all, what do you call them? Turkey wanting to go and fight the people that they call terrorists in Syria, which is the same people that America happen to be backing, you know what I'm saying, which is a quagmire in itself. How the hell is America backing a group, what they call moderate rebels? All right, but Turkey see them as terrorists unto them. Turkey's supposed to be a part of NATO. All right, now Syria is backed by Russia. All right, so you know you got a huge quagmire here, but hey, that's all also according to prophecy, man. All right, going into let me read it real quick, you know, just to touch on this a little bit, because as we can see, these wars and rumors of wars is taking place, and there's a certain topic I want to get into here in a second. but just to lead up to these things to show forth the importance of prophecy, man. All right. Oh, we definitely got to bring this out. That comes out every week. But let me read this real quick. This is Obadiah. Obadiah 1 and 7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have bought thee even to the border. Even the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. And they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there's no understanding in him. So look, we're going around round 2 again with the Turkey situation, because beforehand you had Turkey making deals with Russia as far as buying this S-400. All right, and America told them, nah, y'all can't buy that because it makes our plane obsolete. You know, y'all part of the F-35 program. This don't work out like that, man. All right, hey, Turkey wound up going along with the deal, receiving the S-400. They on rounds to get another round of S-400s. All right, America sanctioned them. They sanctioned America back. Then they kind of died down with all these things, pulled them from the F-35 program. But like I said, now, you know, Turkey, right now, while Russia's got their, you know, they're occupied with the Ukraine scenario. All right, hey, Turkey's like, man, shit, we about to go over here and start bombing these. I believe it's the Kurds over in Syria. All right, and now again, these same people are being backed by America, man. They're being armed by America, which America and Turkey are, you know, they basically in NATO together. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but look, you know, they start waging war with them, and then Russia come to their aid. Then they again at another conflict with Russia, man. So it's inevitable. These things are all coming to pass because why? The Lord said so, man. These are all parts of the prophecy as far as what the Lord, you know, will show forth in the signs before he was to make his return. So now let's get back to Salah. I dropped it now. This is going back to Matthew chapter 24. All right. Excuse me. Matthew 24 and verse 6. It says, and you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right. And hey, as we're living in these times and these days, man, things is winding down as far as bringing us into what? The end of days, man. The end times, man. So what? All these things must come to pass first. All right. You know, these things are all leading us into what we're going to get into a little bit later. But Esau's trying to get into what? His new world order. All right, you've always heard about this term, the NWO, the New World Order, a one world government, one world religion, one world, all these different things where it's being ran top down. Well, and this is all a part of Esau's blessing. Let me go ahead and grab that real quick as well. You know, because these things, come on now. These things was all prophesied from the very beginning. All right, now they all just have to so-called manifest themselves and to take place. All right, this is Genesis 27. Let me start at verse 38. All right, you know, because this is going back to Jacob and Esau. All right, like when I opened up, we went into who Jacob and Esau was. Jacob, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans come out of him. All right, the Edomites basically are the forefathers of these so-called white people, man. All right, and so, you know, to answer a lifelong question about what's going on, why do you have racism and things, it's not because of skin color, because there's other people who have the same skin colors that, you know, Esau don't treat them the same way, man, as the way that they treated us. And so, hey, we're completely different people, man. All right. But nevertheless, you know, just not to really go too far into it, you know, you have so-called black people and so-called Africans have the same skin color and everything, you know, very close in skin color. But, hey, our DNA is so much more closer to the so-called white man's DNA than we are to the so-called Africans, man. All right. You know, the so-called black man, the so-called Latino man, the so-called Native American man. All right. They are you know, their forefather is Jacob. All right, is a twin brother to the so-called white man's forefather, who is Esau, man. All right, now, the so-called Africans come, and those are Shemites, all right? The so-called Africans come out of Ham. Those are Hamites, two completely different people, man. All right, but nevertheless, going back to what we're reading here, all right? It says, Genesis 27 and 38, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, All right, it says, and of the dew of heaven from above. And so, hey, this was part of Esau's blessing. Was what he was going to get the dominion over the earth, and he was going to wind up ruling the earth, man. All right, he was going to have a, you know, when you further read down into it, he has a temporary rulership over the earth, whereas Jacob was going to have an everlasting rulership over the earth, man. But hey, as you can see here, this is pretty much what's being played out right now, man. All right, Esau's trying to gain total dominion over the whole earth, man. All right, so it says, verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live. All right, and that's how Esau wound up dominating the whole earth through what? His military, man. His military might, man. You seen him dropping bombs in Japan, the nuclear bombs he dropped in Japan, which subjugated all the other nations, man. After World War II, after he dropped them damn bombs, man, everybody bowed out up out of that war, man. Everybody was like, all right, we not fucking around no more, man. You know what? It's over with. You know, and they just pretty much, matter of fact, they had bowed out before they even dropped the first bomb, man. All right, then they dropped the first bomb, then the second bomb had wound up dropping and things like that. Then all of a sudden, you know, everybody was pretty much quiet before the so-called white man. All right, you know, you had small little skirmishes and things here and there, but nobody really wanted to go toe-to-toe with him. And look at the times now, you know. Whereas at the end of the fall of, you know, because those bombs and stuff really came from Germany with Hitler and them. But hey, once America and Russia wound up taking they stash spot, nobody was really dealing with them, man. All right, nobody really wanted to contend with them, and even in the little, you know, the conflicts that they did have, they pretty much took it light on those nations, man. But ultimately, Esau had dominion over the earth by way of what? His sword. So let's read that again. It says, Genesis 27 and 40, it says, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke off thy neck. So, hey, this is what the scripture talks about as far as Esau was going to be ruling the earth, man. Oh, man. Salaki, man. Ripped a hole in my page. All right, so let me grab this other precept real fast while we're here. This is... This is the book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right, and so, hey, this is the point in time where we have Esau ruling over the face of the earth. All right, and what did Esau wind up doing? All right, he changed the times and the ordinances and everything else like that. In fact, with him doing these things, let's read that. With him doing these things, man, it's upset the whole earth, man. This is Isaiah chapter 24. And 4, it says, the earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languish and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. It says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, and broken the everlasting covenant. And as you see, is Esau has gotten dominion over the earth, which is going to bring us into this here precept. Let me read these precepts first, and then we'll get back to that. This is Revelation chapter 6. All right, Revelation chapter 6 and 4. And there went out another horse that was red. All right, now when you go back into the scripture, with Genesis 25, all right, about the twins that was born, all right, you know, it says the elder shall serve the younger, and when the times to be fulfilled, you know, we're at hand roughly paraphrasing, the first came out red all over. All right, that first that came out red all over was the elder who was going to serve the younger, which the first that came out, which was red all over, they named his, called his name Esau. All right, because his skin pigmentation was wasted away. All right, how they would say, you know, in modern day time, they say about so-called black people versus so-called white people. Oh, so-called white people lack melanin, more or less to say. They lack, you know, skin pigmentation. All right, you know, like you would say a so-called quote-unquote albino person. Right, that's where they got the name Esau from. Then he came in faint from the field, asking his brother for that same red meat that wasn't even all the way cooked through. Just like, you know, when we go to the steakhouse, you know, if Jake and Esau both sit down and order steak, hey, Esau gonna order his steak like that, look like him, man. Hey, I want that pink in the middle, man. Jake gonna want his brown all the way through, just like him, man. All right, and that's what Esau asked for. He said, hey, you know, basically give me that same red meat. All right, and so his name was called Edom. All right, which means red. All right, going back into that, but let's go back into Revelation 6 and verse 4. It says, and there went out another horse, all right, which is the representation of power. there went out another horse that was red, all right, going back into Esau Edom, and power was given unto him, all right, as we read in Genesis chapter 27, that how the dominion was given unto him. All right, he was given a great sword, all right. It says, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword, all right. And so, hey, look, there was Esau was given a great sword, all right, and which is what his blessing on the earth, man. The great military might that he has, man. When you look around the face of the earth, man, all right, there's no greater militaries that's been on the face of the earth than what the militaries of these Edomites, man. All right, you had what, Alexander the Greek, all right, in his military war front. You had Alexander the Greek in his war front. You know, they took down the Medo-Persians. All right, you had the Romans. All right, nobody could really conquer the Romans at that point in time. You know, the Romans wound up imploding upon themselves. All right, you had the British. All right, the French. All right, you had basically these modern day Americans. You had the Germans. All right, you had the Russians. All right, and basically all these people, if they want to fall on this anybody, they fell to other Edomites, man. All right, so it's not really like they fell to anybody, man. All right, you know, you had World War I and World War II. These was all pretty much Edomite on Edomite affairs, man. It wasn't like some African nations, some Hamite nations came and took down the damn Edomites, man. All right, it's not like the Moabites came and took down the Edomites, man. Nah, man, the Edomites, they never really fell, man. And if, you know, they so-called fell out of a position of power, all right, it was to other Edomites, man. And just more Edomites got stronger in that sense, you know, like the, what they call the American Revolutionary Wars and things like that, man. All those different conflicts that they had. I mean, it was Edomites on Edomites, man. So, hey, who wound up winning? Still was Edomites when they took over, man. So this was them, man. They pretty much quieted the whole earth, man. All right, there was that power that was given to them, which was what? That military might. And this is how they dominated the whole earth, man. All right. It says, you know, and another sense of their damn sword, you know, their forked tongue that they have, man. Another thing that they do now in modern days, all right, before they bring out that military is what? Through their Babylonian juice, man, their philosophies, their lies, you know, their so-called, their covenants that they break, man. All right, they come out and they say, hey, we'll do this and we'll do that for you, you know. And then, hey, look, if you know, if you don't agree with it, then they bring out that actual sword. But, hey, a lot of the times, they'll sit there and take all of your possessions through what? Their so-called documentations, man. All right, you see in the sense of like how you may sign up for a credit card or a car loan or whatever, and it sounds all good. But then let's just let one thing happen bad, and then all of a sudden you in a deep debt that you can't even get yourself out of, man. And you trying to figure out how these things wind up happening unto you is because of why? The deceit that they had in their paperwork, all right? But nevertheless, you know, this is part of Esau's blessing, man. This is how he was going to take peace from the earth, man. Throughout all these different things and subjugating all the rest of the people up under him, man. All right, he always in somebody else, how they call it, not internal affairs, foreign policy, man. Always in somebody else's back door, always dealing with what they have going on in their own countries, man. Never letting these countries live as a sovereign, man. All right, let's go back to Revelation chapter 6, verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. All right, and again, like I said, that's exactly what his MO was to do, man. Was to take peace from the earth in every aspect of the way of being, man. Whether it was through a military conflict, all right, uprisings of an overthrowing of governments, man. Like I said, through his so-called pen or his manipulation of how do they say, like when they do coup d'etats, they have it's something with the uprisings. They go in and basically with the propaganda, man. They'll go in and they'll basically have them overthrow their government and things like that. Like pretty much how, you know, for you Americans, you witnessed this January 6th, man. All right, because they went online, orchestrated a so-called coup d'etat, all right, and basically had some little Edomites run up in the damn Capitol building, man. All right, they came from all over the place because y'all believed whatever the narrative they wanted y'all to believe was, man. All right, oh, that somebody that stole some goddamn elections, man. You niggas don't realize shit. Your vote don't count, first of all. Like, if you even went to school and they taught you about the electoral college and things like that, nigga, all you niggas, none of your votes count anyway. The only reason that they have you go out there to vote to see if you actually believe in the system still, man. All right, it's just like if I was Vince McMahon in WWF, man. If I wanted to know if the people still believed in my product and still believed that wrestling was real, all I would have to do is watch the ratings on a TV show. Are people tuning in to watch this shit, man? All right, once, you know, if I can't get people to watch the wrestling TV show no more. That means that nobody believes this shit is real no more, man. But as long as there's people watching, I know that you still believe the storylines are real. Same thing with this voting shit, man. They told you in school, man, it's all about the electoral colleges and things like that, let alone, when you really get deeper into that, you don't elect the president. They select the person that's going to be the president from way beforehand, man, which is, we're going to get it a little bit into this a little later. But, they have these secret meetings, secret councils where they pick these people who going to be running the nation from way beforehand, man. So it ain't no, they didn't hijack the election. But this is the things that they put into the minds of the people so that people can come in, all right? It's, order out of chaos, man. They'll drive the people to do one thing just so they can have a backlash, so they can come in with a solution. Like, this is what we're going to have to wind up doing, man. They're playing on your emotions, man. Psychological warfare, man. Psyops, man. All right? But, hey, what they call ideological subversion, man. All right? But, hey, it's mind control. They have multiple terms about what the hell do they call these things. But, hey, you people are more than peons out here. You believe in these here systems. But this is why we've been out here to do what? To reveal that wicked man. All right, to expose. Let me read it real quick. We'll come back to that. Actually, we were done in Isaiah. Let me read this real quick. Obadiah 1:6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All right, let me get the precept to that. Alright, let me read it again. Oh, wait. Alright. Obadiah 1:6. It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are the hidden things sought up? Alright, actually, let me grab this other precept as well, too, to go along with this. Alright, this is one page back. 2 pages back. Amos 3:7. Amos 3:6, actually. Let me start there. Amos 3:6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people be not afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it? Surely Yahweh power will do nothing but reveal his secrets to his servants, the prophets, man. All right, because hey, man, the Lord has opened up our eyes and our ears to receive his message. All right, to show us the things that's so-called hidden in plain sight, man. Just like who the damn wicked is, man. As a matter of fact, let me read that before I go into that. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. All right, and that's where we at right now, where the man of sin is being revealed. All right, who is the what? The son of perdition. All right, right now he's being, well, let me read the next verse. Verse 8, 2 Thessalonians 2:8, it says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. All right, because ultimately, the Lord revealed his secrets to his servants, the prophets. The prophets go out on the highways and the byways and expose this damn wicked ass man. All right, and coming out the woodwork and telling you about who the wicked is, man. Showing forth his plans, his next moves, and everything else like that, man. All right, so hey, so how the scriptures say, you hear the words of my mouth and give them warning from me, so that ultimately we can get the blood off of our hands, and you can repent from your sins, man. So you can stop walking hand in hand with the damn wicked, man, because he's about to go into perdition. And like the scriptures say, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished, man. So it would behoove you to arise ye and depart from above, out of homeboy's hand, man. All right, because you're gonna wind up going down with them, man. Hey, and Salaki about the winds, we got something like a hurricane rolling through this bad boy, but we straight over here where we at Lord's will to, we'll stay dry today, but it is windy out here. But nevertheless, going back into Esau, all right, this is what the Lord has set the prophets up to do, is to reveal this man, all right, to show forth all his doings and everything else like that. So hey, he has a lot of his secret counsels and secrets and things that he has going on. But what now, the elect, all right, the prophets will come out and exposing them, man, shining that light on them, man, all right, and how do I say, bringing him to the forefront, man, all right, because he would, one of the things like I was about to say was, he's been hiding in plain sight for the longest time, man. You've been walking around the rest of your whole life, you know what I'm saying, thinking that the so-called white man was just a regular person. We all equal, we all the same, we all just different hues of people, and because of where we were born and this and that. Nah, man, hey, wait, some of us, we all different from one another, man. All right, yeah, we could be, like, for instance, you have some animals, right? you can raise certain animals around other certain animals, and then they can pretend to be like those animals. Like, let's say, for instance, you've seen that movie, what was it called, Babe, with the pig, right? And he wanted to be a sheepdog, I believe it was. And, you know, obviously it's a movie, but this actually happens sometimes in real life, where you'll maybe raise a baby chicken with some ducks, or vice versa, or something like that. And they you know, they start acting like the other motherfuckers, man. All right, but hey, it don't mean that they, you know, they're a different, you know, creature, man. All right, so for instance, let's just use the example of, you know, you raise a baby chicken, all right, with some baby ducks, right? You know, ducks, they go out, they follow their mama, and they go out in the water, they be swimming and everything else like that, and so on and so forth. Well, you can, you know, if you got a baby chicken, right, and from birth you raise him around some ducks and shit like that, he gonna think he a duck, rolling around with the ducks and everything else like that, and so on and so forth. But when they get older, man, and you was to kill and cook these damn two birds, the chicken gonna still taste like a chicken, no matter how he acted like, and the duck gonna taste like a duck gonna taste, no matter how he acted like, man. So on the inside, they still who they are, no matter how they act. Same way with our people, man. Our people can grow up around these, you know, brainwashed around these damn Edomites, you know, like the scriptures say, the valley of the dry bones. All right, we're very, very dry bones. We don't know who the hell we were. We over here walking around like them with blonde hair, blue contacts and shit like that. But hey, man, we don't realize that's not who we are, man. All right, following after the ways of the heathen. All right, eating abominable foods. But hey, at the end all be all, we still have a power that we can call upon, man. We're still under this, how you say, a contract or this covenant that we made with the Lord. So we're still the same people. But now in days, we're showing you forth that, hey, man, this person that's been walking around us the whole time, all right, he's actually the damn devil, man. All right, look at what he's been doing throughout the face of the earth as we reading how he take peace from the earth, man. All right, how he would, let's read it again. Revelation chapter 6. Revelation 6 and 4 says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. All right, so hey, this is his MO, man. All right, like I said, you can just sit there and watch throughout, you know, your so-called life as you've been growing up, you know, from the narrative that they've been telling you, you know, about living here in America, this place. Oh well, you know, we're just the pinnacle of peace, the pinnacle of all these so-called good things, and we only use our military to go out for liberation missions, spread democracy and freedom, to save people. We don't go and be on the offensive. We're always on the defensive and to help somebody else. We're always there to save other people. But then when you really reveal the cloak of what's behind that damn mask, you realize America's wicked, man. Look at how many years the United States have been formed as the United States of America as you know it today. All right, and then look at, you know, which is like, I believe, 240 something years. All right, and look at how many years the United States as you know it today has been at war. It's been like 220 something years, man. So for the majority of the existence of the United States of America as you know it today, they damn near been at war, man. So when you look at it in that sense, like, well, wait a minute, this ain't no so-called peaceful place, man. They done been on the offense the whole goddamn time, man. Overthrowing governments, overthrowing countries, killing off not dictators, but killing off rulers and things like that. But hey, this is what they've wound up been doing. But ultimately, they would have you think that they're the so-called the prophets of peace. But ultimately, they're the agents of chaos. They're the agents of wickedness, man. But hey, this is what we out here to do, to reveal the wicked, you know, the son of perdition. All right, to take that mask off of that wicked man, who you know of as Esau, man. But hey, ultimately, you know, hey, our people are starting to wake up to this. The other nations starting to wake up to this. Everybody's calling them out. Let me grab that precept real quick. We'll come back to that Revelation. This is where is it at? Okay, I got you. This is Isaiah 14 and 16. Alright. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14. We don't want to lose the camera. Hold on. And again, Salaki about all the wind. Isaiah 14 and verse 16. Alright. Isaiah 14 and 16 says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms? All right, that made the world a wilderness, and that destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. All right, and so this is the, you know, also the time that we're in now, where these other nations are starting to look at America. It's like, look, man, you the reason that we going to war with all these other people. You're the reason this is happening. You're the reason that that's happening. There's a a news article I was looking at, a video that I was looking at earlier today of, and they've been pretty much saying this in the news, for the last couple of days. But today I seen a video of Vladimir Putin saying this, man. He's like, look, man, hey, the food crisis and all this bullshit this not happening because of us. This is because the Westerners over there, America, them got this situation going on. They sanctions and everything else is going on, man. They trying to sanction us, but it ain't really hurting us. It's actually just backfiring on them, man. All right, it's just like, to give you an example, let's say you renting an apartment from somebody, right? Now you mad with the people at the rent office or whatever, right? You mad with them for whatever reason you mad with them on. Let's say you trying to get a cheaper deal on your apartment, right? But they don't want to give you a cheaper deal. They ain't got to give you a cheaper deal just because you asked for a cheaper deal, but they want a cheaper deal. You want a cheaper deal. So you say, hey, look, man. You say, hey, look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on strike. I'm going to stop paying rent. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give y'all some bad reviews. I'm about to go and put holes into y'all walls in y'all apartments. I'm about to make this place real bad until y'all make it cheaper for me to stay here, man. And the apartment people are like, look, bro, if you put holes in our walls, we're going to just charge you for the repairs. You give us bad reviews, we're going to be forced to let you go. If you don't pay rent, we're going to just evict you up out of this bad boy, man. So, hey, man, you're not really doing them no harm because all they're going to really do is wind up winning a lawsuit, all right, evicting you up out of there. You got the problem child up out the building now. And then at the end all be all, we'll just put somebody else inside the rental building. We're going to make the money we was going to make anyway. We got a whole long list of people. So you're not hurting us. You're just hurting yourself. All right. And it's going to make it harder for you. You got an eviction on your name. It's harder for you to go get housing. All right. We're going to pass along the status of you being a renter here. You put holes into our wall. You think anybody going to want to rent to you now? So now, whatever your rent was, you was paying, it was going to go up. But not only that, you're going to have to go find somewhere else to live. And they're going to charge you even more of a security deposit to live over there because of your past status, man. So you've only made it worse on yourself, man. The renters that you've renting from, they don't give a fuck, man. They can, all right, leave. We'll get somebody else to come in here. It's not really a big deal for us, man. In fact, we'll make more money, you know what I'm saying? Because you're not trying to pay rent. So this is the sentiment that Russia has with America right now. Like, look, bro, with these sanctions y'all trying to throw on us, it's not really that big of a deal. We actually making more money right now. Y'all want to cut us off with the gas and the SWIFT deal. All right, well, this is just strengthening the BRICS nations. This is just strengthening, the ruble, man. We going to only take, gas and stuff in our own currency. This is just strengthening our currency, man. We don't want your falling currency, man. Look at the state of America or the economics around the globe right now in the American dollar, man. This shit is all falling, man. So what? Russia's getting stronger where America's getting weaker, man. These nations are looking at America like, damn, we would have been doing good the whole time if it wasn't for this guy, man. Now, America's allies, which is like Germany, Europe, and all them other, all the other European nations and things like that, who get commodities and things like that from Russia, all right, they're over there running out of energy, running out of food, running out of gas, running out of all kinds of things. Hey, here, even in America, man, gas prices are getting outrageous. And who do you have to blame for that, man? Hey, man, blame your president, man. Blame your American leaders and things like that, man. Blame them for snuffing Saudi Arabia and things else like that, trying to, walk around and flex on these nations. They only made it harder on you, man. These other nations still making their money, all right? But then what? America's allies are now looking at America like, bro, what the hell you got going on, man? You the one destabilizing the whole planet Earth. You the one bringing a global destabilization on the whole planet right about now, man. We was all fine and dandy, about a year ago, however long it was, because time moving kind of fast. People was over here talking about the economy was screwed up because of what? The pandemic and things like that. But hey, ultimately, the pandemic was like a drop in the bucket to the shit that America got going on right now with Russia and Ukraine, man. All right, and then not only that, they over there fucking with they running the same game plan with Taiwan and China, man. So, and you gotta imagine you get the majority of your products from China. All right, and so, hey, man, they about to stop those trades. Let me finish reading this real quick because I want to bring out something that's going along with this. Going back to Revelation 6 and 8, it says, matter of fact, I can probably hold this and come back to this. Let me read a little bit of this real quick. All right, because, matter of fact, let me bring out this precept. We'll come back to that. Let me finish this real quick. Isaiah 14 and 16, and it says, they that see thee shall nearly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms, that made the world a wilderness, that destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners? Because, hey, now, again, like I said, all these nations are starting to sober up from that Babylonian juice, man. They're starting to look at America as like saying, let me grab this other precept real quick. I got a couple of come to mind. Lord's will, we'll get to them all. Jeremiah 51:7 says, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. All right, now what? The nations already drunken this here wine. The nations have already went astray. The nations have already taken the bait and everything else like that. But now all of a sudden, the nations are starting to wake up. The nations are starting to sober up from these different things, man. It's like, you go out and you get somebody drunk to finesse them on some kind of deal or something like that. Hey, man, we got to get you to sign this here contract or whatever. But they take you out and get you all partied up, liquored up and everything else like that. Now you all drunk and they got you signing the deal. Now you didn't sobered up and you realize you done sold your whole goddamn soul, your place and everything else, man. Like, oh damn, they done got me drunk and I done signed away all my rights and now I'm all upset about these things. And this is what these nations are starting to realize. So let's read it again. Isaiah 14:16, it says, Then they that shall see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms, that made the world a wilderness, that destroyed the cities thereof, that opened out the house of his prisoners? And so as we still here, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are still here in America, all right, still in captivity. He opened out the house of his prisoners, but yet, want to talk about these other nations. Oh, they're killing their own people over there. They're starving their people out. They're such dictators. They're humanitarian right, what they call it, human rights. They're violating human rights and things like that, man. All these different things that they say that they have going on, man. All these different things they do here to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Give me 1 second. So, for everything that they say about these other nations, as far as, hey, man, they're stealing lands, we can just run down the list, man. What do they blame ISIS them for? Trying to create a caliphate and stealing some land over in the Middle East? Well, what did the so-called Europeans do when they came over here to the Native Americans, man? They stole their lands, they raped, they robbed, they murdered, all right? Talking about human rights efforts and killing off their people. What they do to the so-called Negroes over here, man? Enslaved them, killed them, all right, and hung them, lynched them, and all these different things, man. All right, all these different things you see going on that they're blaming these other nations for. This is what they're doing on a global scale, man. Terrorize, accusing people of terrorists, man. What did you do over the last 20 years in the Middle East, man? Bombing the shit out of those people in the Middle East, man. You've been terrorizing all of them, and you terrorizing people to this same very day, man. All right, so hey, man, what's the difference between that's what they call projecting, man. What's the difference between what you're accusing the rest of the world of and what you're actually doing, man? All right? Like, they'll come and arrest Jake for selling a little bit of drugs, but yet and still they got a whole war in a whole country just to steal a whole bunch of drugs, and you affected everybody in the United States. Well, really all these Edomites in the U.S. with these opioid crisis, man. So look at the damn, this damn devil, is accusing everybody else of everything else, but this is what he's actually doing, man. But hey, man, this is the point in time where he's being revealed for all his wickedness, man. This is the point in time now where everybody's pointing their fingers at him. Everybody's starting to sober up and like, look, man, these people ain't the problem. These people are the problem, man. These folks ain't the reason why this is going on. These folks are the reason these things are going on, man. All right, they have all these different things that they saying that's being revealed. Their propaganda, their what do you call these? Not really false. It's really a false flag, but they have these like psyops that's going on. But now more and more people are coming out the woodwork saying, nah, bro, this ain't necessarily how it actually went down, man. All right, this ain't, I spoke about this the other day, and it was funny. I just seen another a scenario like this, man. Right, and somebody was asking me about this, because you had these mass shootings that's going on right now, man. All right, you had shit. You had where is it at? In the Buffalo, New York shooting in the grocery store. All right, what is it called? Uvalde, Texas one in the school. All right, the Tulsa one in the hospital. All right, you just recently had one in the church. I believe you had like another one in the church beforehand, like right after the Buffalo one. Then you just had another church one, I believe, happened this morning or last night or something like that. All right, so you've been having all these different You had another couple of them that just popped off and everything else like that over the last couple of weeks. Not weeks, the last couple of days, Salakia. All right, over the last, let's just say the last 3 weeks, you didn't had about 4 or 5, maybe about 6 mass shootings that just took place over the last 2 or 3 weeks, man. All right, but yet and still, a lot of them smell like Esau. All right, smell like fish. All right, a lot of it smell, like, But somebody sent me a video of a shooting at a gas station, right? North Carolina, somewhere in North Carolina, you had some jakes at the gas station, and they just started, hopped out the car, start airing it out and everything else like that. I'm like, look, bro, if they was to actually start videotaping or complaining about the mass shootings that so-called black people be doing, they wouldn't have to be faking all these things, because black people be shooting up the spot all the time. But the difference between that and the other scenario is, well, when black people be shooting up the spot, it's because Ray and Lil Roy got beef with one another, and they just shooting at one another. It's not really a threat to the whole society, man. They just not going on no random shootings, man. They pulled up to you see it on the news at the gas station. They pulled up, and they were shooting at some other folks across the gas pump. There was other people all around. They wasn't targeting them. They just shot at the dudes in the other car over there. So, hey, you go to a nightclub, you know what I'm saying? This is how most Jake nightclubs end, where they be shooting at one another. But again, it's not random. It's not random people getting shot and everything else like that. So what? That don't fit their narrative. They want these people to feel like that they unsafe wherever they go. Like, oh, I can just randomly go to the grocery store and randomly get shot about this and randomly get shot like that. Like, nah, man. They had a little Jake boy who shot up the school, and even the kids that was in the classroom with him, and even the teacher that got shot by the student, right? They was all on the shooter's side. I'm like, nah, bro, this is not what y'all trying to paint the narrative. This is not like no school shooting scenario. This little boy was getting bullied in school by some gang members in school, and nobody was doing nothing about it. And I believe it was a pregnant teacher at that who wound up getting shot. But the pregnant teacher was like, nah, I'm on the shooter's side. Like, they was bullying this kid, and they was about to beat they was beating his ass, all right? And then he just wound up bringing a gun to school as well, and he wound up shooting these niggas, man. So, I mean, he didn't shoot up the whole school randomly, this and that for no other reason. He was defending himself, right? So there's the difference between what Jake shootings and then these Edomite shootings be going on. But like I said, nevertheless, you have these things for their agendas that they're pushing forth to do what? To, take away your arms, your guns, and things like that. Because why? Let's read it. This is Revelation. Revelation 12 and 12. All right. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath but a short time. All right. And going back into him with his Babylonian juice, all right, his how you call him, his little agendas, his like witchcraft that he uses, look, you know what, let me grab this other precept real quick. There's two of them I want to grab. Let me see if I can find them real quick. Right here, Nahum chapter 3 verse 4, it says, because of the multitude of the whoredom of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft that selleth nations through her whoredom and families through her witchcraft. Behold, I am against thee. So let me slow down right there, man. All right, because this, like I said, this is a lot of the things they have going on, man. All right, like I said, I did a video on this, and and in the video I wound up saying, look, man, you want to see like a lot of these so-called like actual shootings and violence and shit like that be taking place. Hey, man, just go and subscribe to like local news channels, man. Just go down a rabbit hole of local news channels and shit like that. You'll always see like random shootings and stuff like that, because hey, look, we're at a time now where let me read this here precept real quick. This is a prophecy that you do have going on. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 12. Let me start at 10. Then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. All right, we're at a time now where everybody is betraying one another. You can't trust nobody. Everybody getting a so-called backstabbed by friends, relatives, and co-workers and people that's close to them, significant others. Girlfriends setting up boyfriends, boyfriends setting up girlfriends, all for a little bit of change and everything else like that. Because why? People are in hard economic times right now, man. All right, and this is the other reason why. Verse 12, it says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. All right, so hey, you're growing up in a time in society where oh man, I gotta grab that as well too. We'll get back to it. This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. All right, and this is where we at right now. The love of many wax cold. All right, hard times, perilous times. All right, we're at a time now where it's hard for people to survive economically, financially, mentally, spiritually. All right, you got all these people doing all kind of spiritual things. Like the scripture say, we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but with principalities. And man, let's read it, because this is what we really have going on at this point in time, man. People don't realize that the floodgates are open right about now, man. I'm holding on a couple precepts. I don't want to drop them, but Salakia. This is a time where we're living in now, where the floodgates of these demonic ass spirits is flowing to and fro throughout the earth, because hey, man, people are looking into these new so-called new age things, but hey, this is nothing new. All right, this is one more page. This is the book of Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against the spiritual wickedness in high places. So hey, this is the time that we're living in now, where you have a lot of people that are out here in the world that are falling into, how you say, demonic the demonic realms of certain things, man. They're in the so-called spirituality, man. More and more people are so-called more religious now, more than ever. And it looks like it's about to start raining. But now you have more people that's in spiritual wickedness more than ever, man. You talk about people in religion and things like that. They say, oh no, we're not religious, we're in this and that. Hey man, you're more religious now than more than ever, man. You just don't understand what kind of religion that you're into, what type of witchcraft that you really out there into, man. But hey man, this is part of the things that will be happening in the end times, man. All right, so let's go back to that 2 Timothy chapter 3. It says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. So hey, this is the times that we're living in right now, man, where people are more lovers of their own selves than anything else, man. All right, they have without natural affection. They don't care about nobody. So what? They out here backstabbing any and everybody, man. They out here just doing the most, man, just to come up over the next person and take advantage of them, man, to do whatever they want to go and do, man. But yet and still, like I said, man, you have this spiritual wickedness in high places that's taking place as well right about now, man, where you have how do I say people on lower end levels that are doing all kind of different things spiritually, to bring certain, they have what they call like yoga, meditation, and certain of these things. Oh, I'm just sitting here, how they say, meditating all day, meditating on this, got my spiritual affirmations day in and day out. Or I'm what's the other thing that they say they're doing, their little mantras, their self affirmations and things like that, man. Hey man, this is what they used to say back in the olden days. They would just change the words, like, oh, I'm doing my little chanting incantations or whatever you call them shits, man. It's the same thing that they was doing in the olden days, but they think this is something new. But look at the vibration of these people that's going on day in and day out. And not to go too far off topic with that, but you see some of these people who sit there and they have their little rituals and their little candles and their little things that they be doing and everything else like that. They're like, yo man, I be fucking with them sometime. I be asking them, because I be seeing them sometime, they be all down. You work with these people, you see these folks, they be in your family and stuff like that, but hey, they always be mad, things is going on. I'm like, how come y'all always mad as fuck, man? Y'all got all this so-called candles and rituals you could be doing, your little so on and so forth and everything else like that. If you doing all this shit to gain all this here power, why you always mad? I'm like, I asked for my money back, motherfucker. I'm like, yo, you should really get a refund for that shit. Didn't you do a little ritual for this to go in your favor and everything is going bad? You always in the down and out, man. You should just quit that shit and go get a regular job and be just occupied in your regular work, because this shit is not working out for you, man. Hey, but it's funny because, it's just leading them down a path of more and more destruction. But, hey, man, they don't want to hear all that. So, like I said, I just be fucking with it, man. I'm like, hey, man, I ain't gonna get a refund on that. But, nevertheless, going back into, that's just on a lower level. But how much on a higher level, man? Look at the music. Look at the media. Look at the things that they telling you on, basically their big crystal ball, which is the television, man. Tell-a-vision, man. All right, they telling you all kind of lies and deceit that they have going on, man. Look at these goddamn demons finna wreck. See? Can't make this shit up, man. Can't make this shit up, man. Anyway, they got these the things that they show you on the TV, the media, and all this deceitfulness and making you believe this is how things are. I heard somebody say this. They brought this up the other day and just some kind of thing. I forgot what the hell I was even watching, but it just so happened to. I heard this part and it stood out to me about 16 and Pregnant. There was a show about 16 and Pregnant and how they brought that show out to so-called show how bad it was to be a teen mom or whatever. Maybe the show was called Teen Mom. To show how bad it was to be a teen mom, but after that point in time, all these young girls decided they wanted to be teen moms. That was a new thing on the block. But ultimately, that was the so-called brainwashing or the seed planting of that ideology into the minds of these young girls. All right, maybe if I, it ain't that bad if I become a teen mom. Maybe if I become a teen mom, I can get a TV show, become famous, and become rich. Let me go and do this and let me go and do that. Same with the Kim Kardashian. Oh, let me go get a sex tape. Let me go get my body done. Maybe I can go, do this and I can go do that. I can go sell my own line of this and that, man. This is that, or Lil Wayne type shit. Let me go get my whole body tatted up, drink some lean, dye my dreads blonde and shit like that. Then I can maybe become like another little rapper or something like that. But hey, man. And this is what you see happening going on day to day to push their narrative or their agenda, man. But going back into these, these mass shootings that you've seen that's being televised on TV with all these different things to be, smelling a little fishy. You have what they call order out of chaos, man. They try to bring a solution out of a problem that they created, man. Waiting on your reaction, problem, reaction, solution, man. All right, but hey, ultimately, this is what you have going on. All right, so let's go back to that in Nahum. Let me get it. Nahum chapter 3, verse 4, it says, because the multitude of the whoredom of the well-favored harlot, all right, and that's what? Going into America, because America's been what? That golden cup, that golden city, all right, that made all the earth drunken with her with her Babylonian juice, man. This is America, man. This is what the hell that they got going on, man. All right, I'm going to read this, and I'm going to read, because I really want to bring this other thing out, because it's going right along with what we're talking about, man, all right. It says, because of the multitude of the well-favored, because of the multitude of the whoredom of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft, that selleth nations through her whoredom, and families through her witchcraft. Behold, I am against thee, saith Yahweh of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee. I will make thee vile, and set thee as a gazing stock. And so right now, this is what's going on, man. America's being revealed as lifting up her skirt, man. Seeing all her goodies, man. America, there was that saying before in time where these other nations say, hey, we got to move to America. America's that golden city. They got the cities paved with gold. They got all the riches. They got everything. Hey, man, if we can make it to America, we can make it in the world. We can make everything pop off by moving to America. But now look at America, man. America's become like a third world country, man. People are leaving America to go back to these other countries because they can make more money over there, man. People are now realizing, like, now you have more and more tent cities popping up here in America. More and more people are on drugs and opioids here in America. More and more violence is going on day in and day out here in America, man. People are now looking back at their own homes like, hey, it's actually safer for us to live, let's just say hypothetically in Mexico where the cartel is at, than to live over here in America with all these goddamn mass shootings that's going on, man. Or we'd rather live over here in this here country where it's drug infested versus living over in America where everybody on goddamn opioids, man. All right, but hey, this is the point in time where America's being how do I say as being exposed. That leg is, or that thigh is being shown. That dress is being lifted up. All right, now let me go into this real quick. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try to read this real quick in NLT, then I'm gonna go into what I want to grab. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So let me read this. This is Nahum 3 and 4 in the NLT. It says, all this because Nineveh, the beautiful and faithless city, mistress of deadly charms, enchanted the nations with her beauty. She taught them all her magic, enchanting people everywhere. And so, hey, that's indicative to America, even though it says Nineveh. This is the modern day Nineveh, man. All right, you have all the things that they have prospering here in America. You see them going on into the rest of the world, man. All right, you have the BS, the witchcraft of Facebook here in America. Guess what? You can go get Facebook all over the world right about now, man. All right, they're pushing their agendas and things like that over on the other sides of the globe. Because think about it, man. Think about how social media and things. Matter of fact, that's what I was watching something on that tip about the social media and things like that, about how social media has birthed a lot of these different things, these ideologies and this here witchcraft. All right, just think back before you had social media, things didn't spread as far and as wide and as fast as they did comparably to now, man. All right, you can have a trend that pops up on TikTok or social media, and it's around the whole damn globe within a matter of hours or moments, man. All right, but nevertheless, with this here social media lifestyle, man. All right, you'll have certain trends that's being popped up over here in America, whether it be the the butt injections, lip injections, the makeup, the fake, or we call it the fake up. All right, all the twerking, all this OnlyFans and all these different things, man. You can have all this stuff being promoted here in America, right now on these international platforms. And now guess what? It's permeating in these other countries, man. Where you had all these other countries where things were pretty much modest and things like that. Now they're all being corrupted from the fallacies of the things that you see, the wickedness going on here in America, man. All right. So now let me read. Let me grab this real quick, and then I'm gonna grab some scriptures. Give me a second. Let me open this up. Right now, what you have going on, all right. Matter of fact, it ends tomorrow. I think it ends. Tomorrow's like the last day. So right now, you actually have this going on right now. And let me see. Put this down. All right. So look, this is on the website Bilderbergmeeting.org. All right, if you don't know what the Bilderberg Group is, you can look it up. But basically what it is they get their name from the first time they met at this hotel called Hotel de Bilderberg, right? It's basically a bunch of world leaders and things like that, these think tanks, what you call a think tank, and like the scripture called secret councils and things like that, man. You have these different, what you can do is, let me see if I can find this image real quick. So you can get a quick rundown real fast. Where they got it set up like the Tower of Babel, but there's a certain image I'm looking for. Try to point you in the right direction. All right. So I gotta find this. All right, so this is on the website. So I was looking up this here image. Now this here image, like I said, to be able to give you an understanding about what the Bilderberg Group or these think tanks are in a nutshell, because you know you can go into all of them, what they specialize in and everything else like that. But hey, the basic meaning is a goddamn think tank, a council of the wicked, man. You got multiple of them, but this one's on the website. Kind of give you a rundown of all of them, or the majority of it. It's called Tavistock Agenda. So TAVISTOCKAGENDA Weebly WEEBLY.com. Tavistock agenda.weebly.com, right? I think that's the whole address. But anyway, so they have this here on there, but I'm gonna try to blow it up for you. But it says Tavistock Agenda, fracking your brain, light on dark ops, changing your mind because of emotion is faith, changing your mind because of thinking is philosophy, changing your mind because of facts is science, changing your mind because manipulation is mind control. All right, going all into what they would, like we read. Let me see if I got it right here. Still, it says because of the multitude of Nahum 3 and 4. It says because of the multitude of the whoredom of the well-favored harlot. Because of the multitude of the whoredom of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft that sells nations through her whoredom and families through her witchcraft. And this is how they get down, man, with these secret councils, man. All right, so let me see if I can pull up this here image, make it a little bit bigger for you. Let me see if I can download it. Give me 1 second. I guess I can't. Um, so I would just tell you to look it up real quick. Oh man, nah, I can't even blow it up. But nevertheless, look it up. Like I said, the quickest way to get to it is Tavistock Agenda 2012, and the website it's on is tavistockagenda.weebly.com. Right now, on there, like I said, that'll give you a understanding of like what Bilderberg Group is. It's a lot of these little think tanks. You got the Committee of 300, the Bilderberg Group, Council of Foreign Relations, all these different groups like that, man. All right, the CIA, the Rand Corporation. All right, all these different scenarios, right? But nevertheless, let's get back to that Bilderberg situation, right? Let me open that up. Because you had this here Bilderberg meeting that's going on for the last couple of days. I think it started on the 2nd and ends on the 5th. Let me get back to it. So it says, and this is at bilderbergmeetings.org. All right, this is their website, and you can, see their little agenda on there. It says Bilderberg Meeting 2022. The 68th Bilderberg meeting to take place the 2nd through the 5th of June 2022 in Washington, D.C. It says Washington, D.C., 2nd June 22. The 68th Bilderberg meeting will take place from the 2nd to the 5th in June 2022 in D.C. It says about 120 participants from 21 countries have confirmed their attendance. As ever, a diverse group of political leaders and experts from industry, finance, academia, labor, and media has been invited. The list of participants is available, and they give you the website that is there, which we'll touch on that, but let me read that again. So it says about 120 participants from 21 countries, all right, have confirmed their attendance. As ever, a diverse group of political leaders, all right, political leaders, world leaders, and things like that. It says experts from industry, finance, academia, labor, and media has been invited. The list of participants are available here, so let's click on that. Jeez. Can we just get a... Well, don't give you all... there was a place where they showed them all. Oh, here we go. All right. Oh yeah, we're not gonna read all these people, but there's a spot in here where you can see all these the different people that's down here, man. Wow. Let's get back to the reasons why they're meeting. So it says the key topics to be discussed this year are, all right, this is what we wanted to get into because it's going to lead into some of the prophecies that we've been speaking about, man. All right, showing forth that a lot of these different things that we've been telling you about is now coming to pass, and this is what you have them meeting on. So let me go back to the scripture and read this here precept real quick. And this is one that comes out almost every week. All right. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse, let me start at the top. Habakkuk 2:1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. All right, and so hey, that's what we've been doing. We've been making this easy for you to understand, easy for you to be able to get, easy for you to be able to research. Like, hey, man, going into, not trying to spend too much time on breaking down what these secret councils or these think tanks are and everything. Hey, we will show you the directions wherever you can go over there and look at them. All right, look and do some research on these things. You can go get your own understanding for it and everything else like that. All right, make it easy for you to run that may read it, man. So when you hear these things, you see these things pop back up, you're like, oh, okay, I know exactly what that is. I know that this is what that's what that was talking about. I done heard about this before. I done heard about this group before. That's where I heard about that group. It's funny that I was talking to somebody who was not really heavily into all of this type of stuff and everything else like that, and I wound up mentioning the Bilderberg group to them, and then they was like, oh yeah, I heard about that, and so on and so forth, and they was pretty much well versed on it because look, certain seeds have been planted in their mind, all right, and they happen to come across certain things on YouTube, and now they started looking into it when they see like certain news articles going on about it. They actually read into these things, man. So now they're well informed about these things because why? it's been made, simple that, they may run that readeth it, man. All right, so it's not like something that is too much for them, too heavy for them to understand, too much for them to sit there and believe on certain things. Like, oh shit, that is what that is, man. All right, I've been hearing about this. I've been seeing these certain things. Same, we always go into which we'll get into the MOTB. When they see and hear about certain things that's going on, they're like, look, man, they over here about the microchip, this and that, and it's a blessing whenever you see somebody who from beforehand, when you tell them about these things, it's hard for them to understand, hard for them to believe, hard for them to comprehend and everything else like that, to now later on in time, they over here sending you articles about this, like, look, man, this is what this is what that's going into. Like, yeah, I've been telling you about it. Now you will believe it so much more that you actually pushing the word on this here thing now, man. All right, so, that's always a beautiful thing, to see people when they wake up to these things, man. All right, so let's go back into Habakkuk 2 and 3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And that's what we've been telling you about these here prophecies, man. All right, so we've been telling you about these things coming to pass for so long, and now what? You're starting to see them come to pass, man. You're starting to see, like I said, if you know about this here group and the things that they got going on, this think tank and all these different people, and the things that they have going on, you see that this is what they're actually planning for. This is the agenda that they're actually moving towards, man. This is what you see in the New World Order being set up right before your face, man. It's no longer what they would call a so-called conspiracy. It's no longer any of these things. They having open meetings about these things, man. They have it all. And again, you can go on their website, and I'm on their website reading what they talking about, what they doing. We not on no third, fourth party website listening to some Alex Jones, what Alex Jones say that they over there doing. And no, this is what they publish on their own website, man. All right, they published it and they concealed it not, man. All right, and ultimately, the Lord has opened up our eyes and our ears to be able to discern these things and to feed it unto you, man. So ultimately, we're getting this in from the Lord. But like I said, we're at a time now where, the vision is speaking, like the scripture say, the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. All right, we're at the end now where it's speaking out in the open now, man. It's no longer, like I said, a conspiracy. It's no longer a dark saying. It's no longer something that you would only know about in the secret. No, this is all in the mainstream media, on the mainstream news. You see mainstream articles about, I did a video on this a couple weeks back about the microchip, right? And they had this shit on the news, and it was like, oh, this is kind of eerie about, sounding like the mark of the beast, and blah, 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 blah. Like, it's not hidden. They tell you in mainstream nowadays. So, hey, we're at the end where the vision, like the scripture say, the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. We're at a point in time where now these visions are speaking loud and clear, man. These visions are not being hidden. These visions are not being spoken about in dark chambers and the secrets and everything else like that. And even if they are, like the Bilderberg meeting and things like that, man, look, what was just the big talk of the town last week or the week before that? The Davos meet, or the World Economic Forum meetings and things like that, man. All right, these Bilderberg meetings and things like that, man. Council on Foreign Relations meetings and things like that, man. They putting all this out in the open, man. Damn near, they might as well. Some of it is being even televised, man. You can watch the World Economic Forum on YouTube and see exactly what the hell they talking about in there, man. Exactly what their plans are in those things, man. So it's not like what you call a conspiracy of what you have going on. It's not about what you believe and what they say and so on and so forth. You got to listen to this. Oh, this guy's a nut job. Well, I wouldn't believe anything he says and anything he's got going on. But man, you ain't got to. There was a point in time where, you had to listen to some of these people like the Alex Jones and stuff like that. And hey, man, you can't always take what that guy says for truth. But some of the things that man was exposing was true. Like the Aaron Russo thing with the Nick Rockefeller. All right, and they was talking about how their plan was to chip everybody and everything else like that. Now both those, well, Aaron Russo's dead now. All right, and the so-called Nick Rockefeller don't quote unquote exist. But guess what does exist? The plan and the agenda that he laid out way back then. Now it's coming as what you think they doing right about now, man. All right, so hey, man, you can say, oh well, just because this guy says it's a loop job or whatever. Hey, you gotta be able to discern it through the Spirit of the Lord, man. This is why we don't just go off of these things. What they got going on is so-called conspiracy theories and things like that. Hey, man, we filter all these things through the Scripture, man. First and foremost, we read in the Scripture and see what the prophecies say. All right, let me grab this precept real quick. This is Revelation chapter 19. Revelation 19 in verse 10. It says, and I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see that thou do it not, for I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. So, hey, going into, what the spirit of the Lord is what? The spirit of prophecy, man. So this is what we out here doing. We going through the spirit of the Lord, which is what? The spirit of prophecy. and telling you these things is coming to pass. Was not with those so-called conspiracy theorists, those guys and everything else like that. You know, it's funny that you'll be listening to some of these truthers about these things that's going on. You know, like the scripture also speak about them as well too, about their own tongue falling upon their own selves. You know, roughly paraphrasing, when dealing with these Edomites that be exposing what they call whistleblowers, right? And these Edomites will be exposing, you know, other Edomites and the shit that they be doing. But it'd be funny at the end of their video. You know, I was listening to one today about economic collapse and things, and at the end of this video, he said, "Hey man, do whatever you got to go do. Get your chickens roaming on your yard, and get your you know, get your little microgreens and get this and get that and get your everything all stocked up and everything else like that." But at the end all be all, I'm like, bro, y'all don't really realize who the hell y'all dealing with, man. You were talking about this nigga coming to take y'all guns and shit away and finna wage war on y'all. You talking about farming some bullshit, nigga? That ain't gonna work, bro. It's not gonna work, man. If you ain't got the Lord with you, like all the things you just said in your little spiel about what you can do to prepare yourself, you didn't mention the Lord not one time, man. That's the only thing that you can do in this here point in time is have faith in the Lord, man. But you over here talking about some stocking up. But again, it's not for them to get it. Like the scripture say, you know, the wicked's not gonna understand. They gonna think that they gonna be able to prevail because hey, they Edomites, man. The pride of their heart has deceived them as well too, man. Oh, if we just stock up on food, got our little doomsday prep, go get our guns and our bullets, we can just sit here and fight it out. They gonna take my gun over my cold, red, dead hands, nigga. Y'all Edomites, you've been deceived by your own pride has deceived you, man. All right, but hey, you know, we in this here truth. What do we tell you, man? Hey, your so-called special move, your special your bug out bag. The only thing in your bug out bag is a whole bag full of faith, man. That's all that you got, man. That's how we spiritually doomsday prep, man, with the Lord, man. All right, that's the only thing you got in your doomsday bag is the name of the Lord and the name of His Son, man, and a whole bunch of faith, man. That's it. All this food and all that extra shit's not gonna get you there, but nevertheless, not getting too far off topic. Let's go ahead and read back about this here situation they got going on with the Bilderberg group, man. All right, because like I said, man, a lot of these things that they talking about is what we've been going into as far as what the prophecies of these end times, man. All right, and this is what they're currently, like I said, right now, they're meeting over what the last couple days from the 2nd to the 5th over these things. So let's go back into it. It says key topics to discuss this year. Now let me read back from the top. It says the 68th Bilderberg meeting will take place from the 2nd to the 5th of June 2022 in D.C. About 120 participants from 21 countries have confirmed their attendance. As ever, a diverse group of political leaders and experts from industry, finance, academia, labor, and the media have been invited. All right, so hey, you know, this is how they control the world, with having people in these key positions. All right, you have these people in these key positions, they can rule and control every damn thing, man. You control the media, you control the narrative of the things that's going out and going forth, man. You control academia, you control what the people are learning in school and things like that. You control finance, you can control who gets funding and who don't get funding. All right, so you can control all these different things. That's why I said look up that Tavistock Institute image and everything with the octopus on there. You get to see how they got their tentacles and every damn thing and how they control the whole world, man. All right, because you would think that, oh, the president control the world, man. The president is nothing more than a peon. He's a fucking puppet, man. All right, this is like, oh, I'm the president of the janitorial services in this big-ass building. Like, you got a little bit of power, but you the janitor. You ain't really paying the bills in this bitch, man. You just cleaning the toilets and things like that. That's what you do, man. All right, but you have these other people that's been in office and running things like the Henry Kissingers of the world, man. This nigga been running shit since, you know, all the damn presidents that's currently alive been running shit, man. So, hey, man, they have a whole lot more weight on their shoulders than the people that you see in the forefronts of these, world leader panels and things like that, man. You have the other folks like Bill Gates and stuff. How is the guy with the computers and stuff like that now over top of you know, the little jabby jabs, farmland and everything else like that, man? Because they're you know, using their money and things like that for a you know, a bigger, better, a greater agenda, man. You see a lot of that in the, what's that show, the movie Iron Man and stuff like that, man. This guy was a multi-billionaire and things like that, just like the Elon Musk, man. All right, another, you know, parody of that character. You have all this here money, his philanthropy and things like that. But hey, look, you know, he was doing one thing with his business, with the technology and stuff like that. But beyond the scenes, he was doing something with a way greater cause, man. Had everybody in his world police system where he can track and trace every damn body and everything else like that. He was far above and beyond everything else. But look, the government was using his technology and his things like that to further their agendas, man. All right. So going back into this here article, it says the key topics of discussion this year. It says geopolitical realignment. All right, and going into the geopolitical realignment and things like that. What do you have going on right now? Basically, the degradation of these here systems and things like that, right? You know, code word for what? Building up of the new world order, canceling the old way and building up the new way, man. This is what they have in their topic and their agendas of what they're doing. So when we tell you about them trying to bring in their new world order, the devil coming down into you having great wrath because he knows he has but a short time. All right, and this is what he's trying to do. He's trying to chip every damn body, which we'll get to that as well too. But hey, this is what their damn agenda is. It's the number one thing that's on top. It's geopolitical realignment, man. All right, getting everybody back up under they fold and everything else like that, man. All right. Let me see if I can bring out a precept on that. Matter of fact, right here. Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yea, also because he transgressed Bawan, his philosophies, his doctrines, his little meetings like we talking about right here in the not Davos, the Bilderberg meeting and things like that, man. All right, it says, yea, also because he transgresses Bawan, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desires hill, and his death cannot be satisfied. Because see, he has not only his domestic plans, but he has what they call foreign policy, man. What is he doing to create change around the globe as well too, man? All right, he's thinks about a small percentage of things to do at home, but the majority of the percentage of the things that they plan on doing is outside of America, man. Just think about it. Right now, you got Americans starving, you got gas prices going up, you got all kind of crazy shit going on here in America. People losing their homes. What are they more worried about? Sending aid out to Ukraine, sending aid out to Taiwan, sending aid out to South Korea, sending aid all the way around the globe to help everybody else out and meddle into the shit that they got going on and to meddle into their elections instead of worried about what the hell they got going on over here, man. But this is what his MO is to do, man. He neither keep it at home. He's a proud man. He think that he can rule every damn thing. He think he's supposed to be God over everybody else. This is what he has in his secret councils, his secret meetings, man. All right, he has to go and sit forth and make his deals with the devil on how they're going to keep going forth with their agenda, man. All right. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, a taunted proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, and how long to him that ladeth himself with thick clay? Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booty unto them? Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood and for the violence of the land and the city and all that dwell there, therein. All right. And so let me read a couple more verses. It says, woe to him that coveteth evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and has sinned against thy soul. So, hey, man, this is what Esau's also doing as well, too, man. All right, you know, he's trying to pull together all his resources, all these different people from all these different sectors. All right, and it's like, look, man, we got to take all your money that you got and you've amassed. We've allowed you to get rich through all these things, but we need you to help us push this here agenda, man. You think that they, they use like the Bill Gates, the Mark Zuckerbergs and things like that. They get them to be rich with these certain products. We'll make certain deals. Just think about it, man. You know, when you was in school and business and everything else like that, the majority of the computers that came factory, they came with what? What programming was built in factory to these computers, man? All right, they all had Windows programmed into them, man. All right, that's all Bill Gates and his company, man. Now Bill Gates got super rich. Now Bill Gates is able to do what? Go out and buy up all the doggone farmland and everything else like that. So when it comes time to an economic collapse and famine, who you gonna have to go through for food? Now he's taking his money. Hey, we done made you a multi-billionaire. We're gonna need you to use a lot of your money on creating these jump shots and these juicy juices, man, to go around and sedate the whole world with, man. All right, you can see him and how he talks about that at forgot what was the name of that meeting they had with, that was a couple years back, with the CO2 emissions and things like that, and how to reduce all these different things. And he said if they did a good job with these juicy juices, they could reduce the carbon footprint, the carbon emissions, by reducing the people on the face of the earth, man. How the hell is a computer guy in control of all these health things, man? All right, give me 1 second. It's like putting Dr. Dre, all right, in charge of the World Health Organization. Like, yo, man, he a beat doctor. He in there surgically creating beats and music, man. He ain't a real goddamn doctor, man. All right, but hey, this is what the equivalent to what they got going on, because they're using these people for their own agendas, man. All right. Let me get back. All right, so number 2. NATO challenges. All right, now we have let me grab this other precept as well. because you see these things taking place. Oh, I know where it's at. This is the book of Revelation. Matter of fact, I'm gonna grab this other precept first real quick, and then we'll come back to this. I was gonna make a statement about this Mustang just up at the corner. It was an electric Mustang, but I was like, nah. I had said it to myself, like, it wasn't that sound that you hear, but that was actually a Mustang too. Kind of funny. But let me bring out this other precept as well. Alright. This is Obadiah 1 and 6. Alright. This is Obadiah 1 and 6, or it's like Obadiah 1 and 7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. And they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there's no understanding in him. You know, I referenced that earlier in speaking about Turkey being a part of NATO, all right, laying a snare for America with the S-400. Now, you know, they have talks right now about basically maybe invading and going back into Syria to fight the Kurds. I believe it's the Kurds who is being backed by America, but Turkey see them as a terrorist group, all right? So, hey, you know, that's going to draw them out as well too, you know? And Turkey also is you know, they're using that as leverage as far as, I believe it's Finland and another country, was it Finland and Sweden trying to come in? Because they see they're a part of NATO and they got veto power. They're like, look, bro, if y'all don't allow us to go in here and take out these so-called terrorists, that's the pestilence to us. Even though they y'all partners, we gonna veto these niggas from coming into NATO. We can fuck it up, bro. You know, they not really on the same playing field with America right about now. So they using them as leverage, because remember the F-35 deal and the S-400 situation, man. Turkey still got that bad taste in their mouth about that, man. So it's like, well, look, man, whatever y'all want to do, we can do it. Whatever y'all want to do, we can take it there, man. Y'all want to kick us out? No problem. We can go get a cheaper, better deal from Russia anyway. We already got some of their weapons. It's not going to really stop us. We're going to go get weapons from them, man. They're already on good ties with us, man. And so we know, hey, we all good. I mean, they ain't the best of friends, because if they do, you know, go in there and start bombing off Syria and stuff like that, you know, hey, Russia could come to their aid, but Russia's tied up with the Ukraine situation right about now, man. All right, and all these things could lead into what? A quagmire to bring them into what? World War III. Because look, Turkey is a NATO ally, but NATO has what, Article 5 to defend every inch of NATO. Well, if Turkey go and invade Syria, all right, and they start to bomb over there, and Russia was to attack Turkey in Syria, that's not necessarily Russia attacking the NATO land, basically. That's just them attacking Turkey in Syria. So, hey, that's going to put them all in a rough spot, man. So, you know, this is how close that you are for World War III breaking out, you know, wars and rumors of wars. So, hey, now they want to talk about, you know, NATO and the things that they got going on. And if we can keep expanding, we got to keep pushing and getting these more and more countries around. We're trying to get everybody in the whole globe on our side up against Russia, man, because this is what they're going for at the end all be all, man. So let's get back into Revelation chapter 17 and verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. All right, that's going into what? NATO. All right, because NATO is the beast that the whore, which is America, is riding upon, man. All right, so ultimately they're going to wind up turning on America, man. And you see right now with this whole Russia situation, all right, a lot of the NATO allies are being thrown out to the wolves, more or less to say, man. They're being tossed out to the point it's like, yo, man, hey, look, y'all going to have to pay for higher gas prices. Y'all going to have to survive with no energy. Y'all gonna have to be cut off from this Russian titty, because, hey, man, we got sanctions on them, man. Not only that, hey, man, your price of food, the price of wheat, all this is gonna go up. Y'all gonna have to suffer all those things. We're not gonna help y'all out with that. So why the hell would these nations want to sit there and keep jumping on America's back and trying to aid them when they don't get no benefits? Who's benefiting from any of this shit, man? All right, the only people that's benefiting from any of this incursions is Russia, man. They're the only people benefiting from this. But, hey, this is those snares that America's walking into, where their own snares and their own traps going to get them caught up. Lords will read that a little later. But, hey, man, think about it. Is America benefiting from this? No. Ask the American citizens, is they benefiting from this whole Russia-Ukraine situation? Nah, you paying more the gas price or the gas pumps. You paying more for grocery prices right about now, man. All right, your allies is looking at you a little weird, like Saudi Arabia and things like that. They all looking at you all like, bro, we ain't really dealing with y'all. Y'all causing a global economic downturn. So what? America and their allies aren't prospering from these things, man. Russia's the only one prospering because their ruble is going up in the trade and things like that. Because, hey, man, well, what else can you do? All right? But, hey, nevertheless, these things are going to wind up having, the nations, they're going to start waking up and sobering up, saying, hey, is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake the kingdoms? All right, why are we going to keep backing up this guy when all he's doing is bringing us down, man? It's like a super toxic relationship where the dude finally wake the fuck up, like, yo, man, Will Smith and Jada Smith, Will and Jada, basically, man. When certainly at a certain point in time, when Will wake up and realize that his woman that he with is so toxic, causing him to lose every damn thing, it's like, look, bro, I'd have still had my job, I'd have still had my little positions in this place and being on TV. All I gotta do is get rid of this here woman, or shit, your Johnny Depp and Amanda, what's her name, Amanda Heard or whatever her name is, right? Now look, you wasn't able to get no jobs or nothing because of the shit that she been lying on you about, man. And so now that didn't fucked up your whole career. It's a point in time where you gotta sit there and sober up, wake up, like, you know what? I gotta separate myself from this here scenario. And it's crazy, I just happen to use those two scenarios as an example. It's crazy that all this here news is going on, all these big things going on is actually changing and altering your life right about now. But what? The majority of Americans and the majority of the news is on the news that most Americans are looking at is what about Amanda Heard and Johnny Depp and Will Smith and Jada Smith and shit like that. That's the majority of the shit that these Americans is looking at. They're not listening in on the wheat situation, the sugar situation, the what do you call it, the cooking oil situation and everything else like that, the actual oil situation and all these different things is going on with the trade and economics and the global downturn of the economy. All right, the housing market crashing, the gas prices, grocery prices. They're not looking at all these things. They're not taking heed to none of these things, man. All these things is coming, like the scriptures say, all these things coming upon them as a thief in the night right about now. Because while they're being fed the bread in the circuses, man. All right, they over here looking at the the different things that's going on with these celebrities and stuff like that. The Kim Kardashian and Kanye West and the Johnny Depp situation and the Will Smith shit that's going on. All these different things that's going on. It's keeping them. They're more glued to that type of news than the news is going on. You ask the average American if they heard about what's going on in the Ukraine and China and Taiwan and everything else like that. What's popping? Oh no, I ain't hear about that. What's going on with that? I'm tired of hearing about the war. I'm tired of hearing about this. Tired of hearing about that. But you ask them about the Amanda Heard them shit. Oh yeah, we heard about homegirl shit in that man bed, man. That's crazy, man. Yeah, we heard about that. We heard about it. I'm like, bro, this shit ain't this. None of this shit should be none of your business anyway, man. What they have a saying, what they eat don't make me shit, man. That's not affecting your life. Whether he win the case, he lose the case. She win the case, she lose the case. It's not gonna affect you, man. Whether Will Smith make another movie is not gonna affect you. Whether he stay with Jada ain't gonna affect you. None of these things is gonna affect you. But the shit that's going on that you're not watching, the plans of the wicked, the council of the wicked that's going on behind the scenes, those are the things that's affecting you right now, man. All right, to be starting to hate the horror with them over here making these deals that's pissing off their own allies. All right, when it's time to go to war and y'all think that y'all all strong and everything, you go out there and be left alone. All right, then your ass is gonna be subjected to those thermonuclear missiles, man. All right, none of the nations are gonna come to your aid at that point in time, man. But nevertheless, let's continue on with this here article. It's about 14 points down here, but so. Number one, geopolitical realignment, like I said, going into the New World Order, setting that up. NATO challenges, who going to come into NATO, who going to be able to leave up out of NATO. The Lord's will, it's not about to rain. It's getting dark out here. But Indo-Pacific realignment, all right, because America's trying to reshape them a different type of NATO, like over there with those Asian countries and things like that. But then you have like the scenario, again, so if you understand how America get down, we just read it a little earlier about he need to keep it at home, right? He's always in somebody else's back door. Well, you have the same game plan that they running right there in, let me see. I'll actually skip one, but let me go back and then we'll go into that. So number one, geopolitical realignment. Number two, NATO challenges. Number three, China. Number four, Indo-Pacific realignment. So 3 and 4 is going into what? Those Asian countries over there. Now with that, you have, and you got to look at a map. We look at Taiwan, and go into the history. Taiwan used to be a part of China, all right? Same as like how Ukraine used to be a part of Russia, right? Then you had America, same with the fucking Korea, right? We can speak about Korea as well too, and damn near the Philippines, all right? All these used to be basically a part of, they all used to be basically all the same folks. But throughout time, America went over there and subverted these places. So now you had the divide between North Korea, South Korea. America is backing South Korea, right? Now, North Korea, you know, is basically being backed by China, right? But that's just a buffer zone for them to be able to get over there to invade them. Just like how NATO want to surround Russia for them to be able to attack Russia, are they getting in position? Same way you have America getting into South Korea, which is on the border of North Korea. They could throw a rock all the way over North Korea and hit China, basically. That's how small it is. Then you have the Philippines, which is another, you got to think about the geolocations of these places for military might. You know, if America's trying to fight China, they don't want to be flying planes from America all the way over to China to be bombing their ass, trying to come back. They ain't got enough fuel, enough payload to make that trip, all right? And if they was to take the, what you call them, aircraft carriers and shit like that out in the water, all China would have to do is blow them shits up. So what they would want to do is have these land masses right then and there up on their borders. So we got permanent military bases right here. We can just launch an offensive from Taiwan to China, man. That shit's right across the water, man. We just fly right on over there. The same reason why America didn't want Russia to have their missiles down there in Cuba, because look, Russia could just sit there and put a whole stockpile of shit right there in Cuba and use that as a military base 90 miles off the coastline of Florida and just be lobbing all kind of shit over there, man. All right, 90 miles ain't that far in a goddamn plane or a missile, man. All right, so the same reason you had the Cuban Missile Crisis that led to the embargoes on Cuba is the same reason, the same game plan that America's trying to do. You see the Russian-Ukraine scenario, how close they are to Russia. They border one another, man. The same with the Philippines. They right outside of what they call the South China Sea, Spratly Islands. All right, that's why China built up over there. You know, they also got oil out there, but they built up out there to be like a big military outpost. You know, back in the olden days, you know, you had the city, but then you had the walls around the city, and a lot of the times you had the walls way further out of the city, so you had to come across the walls first, or like a moat, you know, around before you even got to the spot. So like, yo, we could fight you outside there before you get in closer, or it's more or less like having a shield. Before you can touch me, you have to actually hit through this here shield. So this is what these places are, more or less like buffer zones, you know. So you have that's going on in Taiwan, which is right out, it's an island right outside of China. You also have like I said, South Korea, South Korea and North Korea, which North Korea and China border one another. The Philippines, which is again right outside in the water over there. So hey, these are issues that America's trying to find their way to finesse their way into surrounding China with that scenario, man. All right, to go in and subjugate them for what? World War III. You're gonna hear wars and rumors of wars. This is them and they're planning, they're plotting for these things, man. So you think that we ain't going to know World War III? What the hell are they over here at the Bilderberg meeting talking about these things before, man? How to be able to trade and move without these people, man. All right, let's continue on. The Sino-US tech competition, not quite too sure about what that is. That might just be something between China and America. Let me do a quick look. This may be between different one second. Yeah, basically China and America competition when it comes to certain things. Like for instance, I believe that there's no YouTube in China, but then what China has is what you call it, TikTok, right? TikTok come from out of was it TikTok or Snapchat? One of them, I think it's TikTok, come out of China. That's basically their version of it and everything else like that. But they can use those things to push and propagate certain things like that, man. All right, and you see how, I think it's TikTok, because look how many goddamn Americans is on TikTok and things like that. Don't even know that that's being ran by China, man. So they can go over there and use that for propaganda and fill the minds of the people with certain trends and things that they see on there. You know, just think about it. They have what they call TikTok challenges. They got the kids doing certain things that's out there killing themselves, man. Hey, who's not to say China don't be the ones that create all these things that have these stupid ass American kids want to do that, man? I seen a news article or news video about this police officer who basically got fired because she kept doing goddamn TikTok videos at work on duty. I'm like, bitch, what kind of society do we live in nowadays where you think of, you know, being TikTok famous is more important than your job, and let alone you a police officer, man? How the hell you got time to be doing TikToks on the job instead of policing and shit? You supposed to be out here goddamn saving lives and shit like that, and jumping on the crimes, but obviously, you know, it was a woman, and the type of woman that be sitting there doing TikToks and stuff like that. Normally, when you see these female police officers, they more like, bull dagger type women and everything else like that. They be macho, but this woman over here doing TikToks and little dances and shit like that, man. And some real trouble was to come upon her ass, man. She be cowering like a little girl, man. But hey, nevertheless, you see what the mindsets that these people is doing, you know, infiltrating the minds of these people. Have them, you know, you're supposed to be a police officer, supposed to be stern and thinking about your job and shit. You over here doing dances to get likes and views on TikTok, man. But hey, ideological subversion, man. This is what they do, man. Mind control, man. But most people don't understand how these things work out. But going back, it says, here's another one that goes into number 1, but it's point number 7, the continuity of government and the economy. All right, because hey, you know, they plan on collapsing this here. Let me see. So let me break this up into a couple different pieces. Number 7 and number 8. All right, and we're gonna just call number 7 the continuity of government. All right, and then you go into continuity of government. What that means is basically the continuance of a government once something catastrophic happens. Let's just say there's a nuclear attack on America, right? Then you know, they would have the continuity of government. You know, let's say that the president dies, right? So the way it goes is, well, continuity of government. The president dies, the vice president takes over. The vice president and the president die. The the Secretary of Defense, I believe, takes over. Then if he dies, and they got another person, so they have what they call the continuity of government. All right, and they have a whole nother staff. Like after that chain of command, what they have sometimes when they go into continuity of government, they have a whole nother governmental body that takes place. You know, like I said, the original situation that goes into this is like the president dies, the vice president take over. The vice president dies with the president, then the Secretary of Defense takes over. But with the continuity of government, basically they enact that, and it's like FEMA takes over, I believe. All right, FEMA takes over, then you have like a whole different governing body that takes over in these things, man. And you see these things happen in some movies. I'm trying to think of one where they didn't have the nigga kidnapped and shit, and it was in the was it White House Down or something like that. Well, anyway, there's a couple different movies where things happen like that, where the president go offline and everything else like that, and they have a so-called continuity of government that takes over and stuff like that. And they show you that in those certain movies. So hey, man, you know, they're planning for something big. Who knows what the hell they're planning for? But hey, they planning on something, because we know, you seen the signs from a long time ago, the martial law. You know, them planning on taking over the guns and everything else like that. So hey, man, you know, they have these little false flags they be wanting to play out. You know what I'm saying? So they can so-called take over and again come down with great wrath, knowing you have but a short time. Hey, man, we were willing to risk all this here bullshit, to sacrifice all this, so we can go ahead and go for that big grab, man. All right. Now, again, like I said, I'm gonna split number 7 and number 8 up. So number 7 is against this continuity of government and the economy. So we're gonna split the economy with number 8, the disruption of global financial systems. So the economy and the disruption of global financial systems. So this is what they're planning for, to disrupt these things. If you've been watching the stock markets, the crypto markets, man, all this shit is being decimated, man. How they can say Main Street and Wall Street is both being decimated, man. All right, Main Street being what? Your grocery store prices is going up, rental prices is going up, mortgages is going up, auto loans and buying used cars is going up. You know, we got the chip shortage for the new cars, so now all the used cars is going up. They was buying your cars, cash for cars, and cash for junk cars and stuff. Now they charge you an arm and a leg for used cars. Can't even get a damn used car nowadays, because they more expensive than the new cars. All right, the new cars, they can't get them because of so-called chip shortages and things like that. In reality, they're trying to get ready for these electric cars. That's why they're not really building no more of these gasoline cars. They have a quote-unquote shortage on them. But then you have the housing market crash and everything else like that, where hey, you got to qualify 3 or 4 times over for rent to be able to rent out a spot, man. Let's say the rent $1,700, you might have to come up with $5,000 a month to be able to qualify to rent in this here place, man. Who the fuck is renting in an apartment for $5,000 that got $5,000 that make $5,000 a month? You know what I'm saying? And is only gonna pay $1,000 for. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I made this amount of money, I'd just go buy a fucking house. You know what I'm saying? So the people who is trying to live in apartments, they don't make that kind of money, because if they did, like I said, they just go get a goddamn mortgage somewhere. But nevertheless, this is what you have going on right now, man. So hey, this is what you call Main Street, man. All right, like I said, the gas prices, grocery store prices, car prices, housing prices, all these things going up. But Wall Street, man, you see what's going on with the stock markets and everything else like that. That shit is, you done lost half the damn wealth in the stock market in the last couple of months, man. And if you in the crypto markets, man, that shit, you done lost damn near everything in that shit, man. All right, and they talking about some, hey, it's still more room for it to fall even further down, man. But this is all the plans of what they have going on to where they want to have. Let me read that real quick. All right, well, let me see. Well, we'll read this first and then we'll come back to that because there's another little point in there that goes into this. But let's go ahead and read this real quick. All right. So it says, let me read this point again. Number 7 and 8. It says, economy and the disruption of global financial systems. All right. So going into Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, and he calls all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. So, hey, when you go into these things, you know, this is what you have going on right about now, man. All right, they talk about the stabilization of the economy, all right, and all these different things collapsing. You see, like I said, Main Street and Wall Street both collapsing at the same time. All right, people are getting into this here scenario, man. So where they're going to be presented with a, let's read that as well too. They're going to be presented with a choice. All right, hey, you wanna move into this new world order system, or you wanna, you know, fall by the wayside. This is Revelation 3 and 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. All right, so hey, there's gonna be an hour of temptation, which we already see is coming upon the earth right about now, man. Like I was just saying on certain things, man. You know, whether people wanted to admit it or not. You know, a lot of people, you know, a couple years back, you know, you was laughed at, scoffed at for living at home with your parents. You know what I'm saying? Having roommates and things like that. Nowadays, like, yo, people are trying to ask for how you don't live at home with your parents. Who the hell you living with? Like, bro, everybody broke out here. Like I said, you know, you might try to go find you some apartments in the hood for $1,700. But guess what? You got to be able to make like $1,500 or $5,000 to qualify to get into those apartments, man. And people that's looking at those apartments, they don't make that kind of money. So what? Now they strapped for cash. Maybe living in a hotel. Maybe living, and it might be $2,000-$3,000 to live in a hotel a month. All right, a regular ass bust down hotel, man. All right. Then now they started living in their car. But guess what? You know, the repo man came and repoed their car. The car done broke down. They can't afford to get the car fixed or whatever it is. They done lost that. So now what? These ever-growing tent cities are popping up all over the place. People are living in these tents and everything else like that. So what, man? This economic woe is spreading like a wildfire over America, man. More and more people are going into poverty. And when you listen to some of these statements at the, I don't know if it was the Bilderberg. Nah, it wasn't the Bilderberg. I don't think they filmed none of that. The World Economic Forum meeting. All right, they was talking about, you know, about the transfer of wealth from the you know, the lower class to well, from the middle class to the upper class, and from, you know, the lower class to not having anything, basically. All right, this is what you're seeing going on right about now, man. All right, the super elites, the super rich, they're getting richer and richer and richer, while the rest of you people are being decimated all the way across the board, man. All right, you know, most people were living off of, most people didn't have savings. Their savings was gone within the first couple of months. All right, then they were living off of what? Credit. Now they about to start calling in these credit and raising the inflation rates and all these different things, which is going to break a lot more people of what they have, or what they don't have, or what they can afford and what they can't afford. All right, so hey, man, a lot of these people are going to be put into this position between a rock and a hard spot, to where it's what? It's like, look, just like in the Iran situation with the digital voucher that they got going on. Look, man, if you want to be able to buy bread, we know that the bread is too expensive out here, man. But look, check it out. You go ahead and take this digital voucher. We'll give you the bread at a discounted rate, man. All right, now you go ahead and get this. You'll be in first in line. So when we open it up for the chicken, you'll be first in line for the chicken. You'll be first in line for the housing voucher. We're going to just do this all the way across the board to ease all these things, man. Because look, you know, they say order out of chaos, man. You know, they create the damn chaos, and then they come in with the swoop. They're like, hey, look, we saving y'all. Look, we got the way to come out with all these things. We got the way to alleviate the pain, man. But they're the ones that created all these scenarios, man. All right. Oh, well, just like, you know, to give you a scenario of a problem, reaction, solution. The pandemic started, right? First thing they did, oh, we're going to have to shut things down for 2 weeks. People was first griping, what the hell? I can't take off work for 2 weeks. Goddamn, what's wrong with y'all? I'm going to go broke out here. They shut you down for 2 weeks. 2 weeks turned to 2 months. 2 months turned out to 2 years. And guess what? The people was out there crying, hoop-a-lottie-dottie, and everything. But guess what they did? You know, that's the problem. Hey, man, I can't survive off of this bitch, man. I'm broke. You know, I got to do something. You know what I'm saying? We out here broke. And that, well, first of all, the problem was the pandemic, right? And then they had to shut things down. All right. The reaction was, hey, I can't survive like this. I gotta make do. Gotta make ends meet. We gotta do something out here, man. And so, okay, what we'll do is we'll give y'all stimulus checks and everything else like that. You know, shut you down, give you stimulus checks and everything else like that. It's the reaction. All right. Now, ultimately, the solution is gonna be what? We'll give you a long-term, you know, stimulus package. We'll finance everything for you at this point in time, man. You know, because look, you've seen them with the moratoriums. All right, we'll stop with the rent paying and everything else like that. We'll give y'all this stimulus package and this stimulus money for y'all to be able to afford these things. But look, now, again, problem, reaction, solution again. You done ran out of all that. Things didn't alleviate the pain. So guess what? We got to come into a position now where we give you this all the time, man. So we gave you this for a temporary time. It kind of worked for a small amount of time, but now we right back to where we started it, man. So, hey, you seen a problem, reaction, solution. They shut down the jobs just to get y'all to be out in these positions that y'all in now. To give y'all the stimulus package, to get used to y'all taking governmental handouts and everything else like that and living like that and not owning nothing. And then look, ultimately you kind of prepped and ready for it. So now when things like this happen again, you get back in this position. Guess what position you're gonna be in already? You're gonna be out there with your hands out like this. Please, Mr. Government, take care of us. Give us something. Okay, now here go the chip, man. You know, this is which is gonna be the great temptation that's coming upon the whole earth, man. To try them, man. Hey, man, what do you believe in? You believe the government gonna save you? You gonna believe the Lord gonna save you, man? Because, hey, the Lord said his servants is gonna eat, but the rest of them, they gonna wind up starving, man. All right? Let me finish this here off. We got a couple more left to go, but, hey, this is what they're actively planning for. All right, so let me read 7 and 8 again. It says, the continuity of government and the economy, the disruption of global financial systems, disruption of the global financial system. All right, bringing in what? The MOTB. All right, you know, problem, reaction, solution. You know, cryptos was working for so long and everything else. You know, first of all, we can't trust the American dollar because of hyperinflation, and we got to find something that's more secure, more safe, more this, more that. Oh, fuck it, let's go into the cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin. Oh, they're turning people into billionaires and millionaires, and let's jump onto that. Now you done gotten to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin reached $69,000 or $66,000 and everything. It's gonna hit $300,000 by the end of the year. It's gonna hit $300,000 by $400,000 by the end of the year. Invest. Now that shit done dropped down to what, $20-something thousand, and they like, hey, most people would have lost the majority of they got their money into that shit, man. So what are they gonna ask for now? Oh, and another thing with that, you have what they call stable coins. Stable coins are basically coins that are like tied to something. You know, a lot of the times they're paired to you know, like the U.S. dollar. So for every $1 that you put in, it's $1 in some type of crypto, right? Like let's say Tether, you know, it's 1 for 1. You put in $1, you get one little Tether, right? And then when you withdraw that, you got $1 again. Which you ask the question, what's the point of me doing this if it's the same, you know, $1 for $1? I could just keep my goddamn $1. But nevertheless, what you had happen was, you know, a lot of these people who had their stable money and stable coins and things like that, all right, thinking that it was gonna stay the same price and everything else like that. Ultimately, they wound up doing a massive rug pull, and guess what happened? They wound up losing their money into that as well too. So guess what? Now, problem, reaction, solution, man. We thought we had a solution to the fact of you know, with the cryptos. You know, the problem is they volatile. They constantly moving. So the solution to that is what? Stable coins. Okay, the stable coins is 1 for 1. They don't really move. But guess what just happened? The stable coins started dropping off, man. All right, they went from 1 to 1, you know, $1 to damn near 1 penny. So people who had all their $1 in there, imagine that you put $1 in and it's now a penny. All right, you put $100,000 in there or $100 in there, now it's only worth $1. For every $100 you put in there, it's now worth $1, man. You know what I'm saying? So you like, man, what the hell just happened to all of my money? All right, but this is, you know, problem, reaction, solution. Now we need something that's backed by the government. Now we need something regulated by the government. Now we need the government to sit here and step in to secure our money and things like that. And what do you think that they're gonna come with, man? All right, let's read it again. All right, this is Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And this is what they're currently planning and plotting for right now, man. This is what they sitting over here meeting with the world leaders and academia, financial, political leaders and things like that. This is what they are planning for right now. So it says number 7 and 8, continuity of government and the economy. All right, to replace the government once the government fall. All right, and a new government emerges in a new world order and the new economy. All right, the disruption of the global financial system when we got to find a way to crash this global economy so we can bring up a new one. All right, number 9. All right, this is going into. Let me go ahead and read this real quick. Slack it. This is forgive me. It's like super windy out here. All right, this is okay, yeah. All right, this is let me read this first. Going back to this Bilderberg meeting number 9, disinformation. All right, so I'm gonna read these 2 precepts real quick. This is Amos chapter 8 verse 11. It says, "Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread nor of thirst for water, but of hearing the word of the Lord." Now, when you go into a famine, right, an actual famine, what is a famine dealing with? A shortage of food, shortage of bread, shortage of, and you think about, like, let's just say a newborn baby, or even adults, but with a newborn baby, you have to, they say, feed the baby, give the baby some milk so the baby can what? Grow up, get strong, be nourished and everything else like that. This is what's keeping that baby alive, or even human beings, you don't starve to death, be weak and famished, right? So, but the Lord says not of bread, it's of hearing the word, but the word is what? Comparable to what? Like the scripture say, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Lord. Wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of our time. This is what's going to get you to go forth in this here time, and this is going to be the food that you need. This is going to be that spiritual manna that you're going to be eating to survive in the wilderness, man. All right, this is what's going to have you moving forward, and keeping up, man. Because look, you can be eating good every goddamn day of the week, you know what I'm saying? Eating fat, all you can eat buffet of all the most organic food and everything else, the most healthiest food. You can be eating that shit day in and day out. But then your ass don't have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures, and you go take that MOTB, your ass is missile food, man. You know what I'm saying? So what good is eating all that food if you don't have the wisdom and knowledge and understanding of the scriptures, man? If you don't have this here truth, man, that shit is obsolete, man. So this is not what the Lord is talking about. The Lord is talking about, let's read it. It says, Amos 8 and 11, "Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread nor of thirst for water, but of hearing the word of the Lord." And I gave the analogy again of what food is supposed to be doing. It's supposed to be building you up and nourishing you. But the scripture also say that Isaiah 33 Isaiah 33 and 6, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure." So, hey, this is how you're going to be able to move. This is going to be that eternal food that you're going to have. All right, the scripture also say, give me 1 second. Right here. Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. "And Yahweh said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof." All right, these men are basically going to be exempt from judgment. They're going to be saved, man. All right, matter of fact, I should have read this one instead. Revelation chapter 14. Nah, I mean it's there as well too. But well, let me read Revelation 14 and 1. It says, "And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having the Father's name written in their forehead." All right, now let me keep reading. It says, "And I heard a voice from heaven, as a voice of many waters, and a voice of great thunder. And I heard a voice of harpers harping with their harps, and they sung as if it were a new song before the throne, and before the 4 beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000, which were redeemed from the earth." So, hey, that new song that they were singing, which was what? Because they had that name written in their forehead, that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that was placed upon them, right? But I wanted to grab this instead. Revelation 7, all right? me just start at the top. Revelation 7:1, it says, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor the sea, nor any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. All right, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Now I want to read through, a couple of those precepts, because of why? They had that mark upon their foreheads, that exemption from judgment, which was going to be the ones that would have what? The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Lord, that would have this here truth. All right, going back into what? That's that food that you was going to have to survive, that wisdom and knowledge and understanding, that stability of our time to be able to make it through all these different things. Like the example I gave of, man, don't matter how much food that you actually eating out here in this time, you know what I'm saying, how much money you have in this here time, if you don't know about the MOTB being the CHIP, if you don't know about that and you want to take it, your ass is good as grass. Matter of fact, since we right here, Revelation 14:9 says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. So, hey, man, this is what's going to wind up happening if you wind up, eating fatly every damn day. You got all the food in the world, all the money in the world, all the bunkers in the world, and everything else like that, but then you take that damn chip. Your ass is missile food, man. So it's not about, you having actual food that's going to sustain you in these days, man. It's that spiritual food, that spiritual knowledge, man. Like the scriptures say, take this roll and eat without findest, man. Devour it all, man. It's going to be sweet in your mouth and bitter in your belly. But, hey, eat this here roll, man. All right, that's what's going to wind up being sustaining you in those times. But, look, we reading about this here thing that says, what does it say, disinformation. Number 8, or number 9, it says disinformation. So going back into what? That famine of the word, man. All right, let me read that again. I'm going to read this other precept. This is Amos 8:11. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor of thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. All right, so, hey, you only have a limited amount of time for hearing these things, man. All right, because, look, we just read about in the Bilderberg meeting what they're planning on doing. They're talking about, oh, how can we battle disinformation? But, hey, how they say we fight fire with fire, man. They're the ones out here disinforming you of a lot of these different things, because why? If they was trying to battle disinformation and tell you the truth, now, let me put it to you this way. They have their truth and we have our truth, right? Their truth is contrary to our truth. We trying to tell you, look, and really it's one and the same, because, look, we telling you not to take the chip, right? And that's the MOTB. Hey, don't take the chip. They gonna tell you, look, man, there's nothing wrong with taking the chip. We, take the chip. Ultimately, go. But that's what that's what they're slated to do. That's what they're supposed to be doing, man. You know what I'm saying? That's their MO and their agenda, man. It's just like when you're fighting in a war. You know what I'm saying? Both sides. Put it to you this way, right? When you watch the movie 300, who was the good guys and who was the bad guys? Was it Leonidas and the 300 was the good guys, or was it Xerxes and the Persians was the good guys? Well, the answer revolves around which side was you on, because if you was a Spartan, you was in threat of being enslaved by the fucking Persians. You didn't want the Persians rolling up on you and enslaving your ass. Like, well, they the bad guys and we the good guys. We fight for our sovereignty. Well, if you was the Persians, you'd be like, well, these niggas is the bad guys and we the good guys. They standing in our way of divine destiny, man. The Lord gave us this. The Lord said we was going to rule over all this stuff. So they the bad guys. They standing in our way. They thus defy us, Just like right now, hey, man. The devil knows he had but a short time. Hey, the Lord gave him the dominion at this point in time, but he's about to come down. He don't want to come down, so he's going to look at us as a threat. That's why he's trying to get rid of the elect. Hey, but the Lord is like, hey, man, well, look. He the bad guy. He about to be taken out of place anyway, so depends on what side of the fence that you on out here, man. All right, so, hey, this is, what you have going on. But them talking about their disinformation, They're saying, look, man, no, we telling you the truth about these things because we want you to fall in line with our new world order. We want you to go along with our propaganda and our things like this. Yes, this is true. We trying to get our new world order. Y'all gonna fall in line with these things, and it's true for them. But hey, the Lord told us opposite. Don't take this here chip. All right, you know what I'm saying? Like just like in a sense of children and you know, when you growing up, let's say in apartments and stuff like that. Adam and Eve situation. Hey man, you can go. The park is outside for the children to go and play at the playground, man. You know that's the truth. Yeah. But your mama told you a different truth. Your mama said, don't you leave this house for nothing. When I'm gone, don't you leave the house. So that's my truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't leave the house. But ain't nothing wrong with playing on the playground. But what my mama said, no, we can't play on the playground. We can't leave the house while she's gone. So, two different things. But ultimately, this information, all right, like I said, if they was really talking about, you know, what we're speaking according to their laws and their agenda is disinformation. Because we telling you to do what? Not take the chip. Follow on the Lord, you know what I'm saying? Have faith in the Lord, but they have a godlike complex, man. All right, who how does it say? I read it a little earlier. Let me grab it again. What am I looking for? Okay, I know. Got you. This is two different precepts. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 11. And matter of fact, let me read this other precept first, and then I'll come back to that one. This is 2 Thessalonians 2, I'm going to start at verse 8. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8, it says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. So, hey, man, he coming with all signs of lying wonders, man. All right, so, hey, he's going to be able to show forth miracles and certain things that he's doing. But, hey, this is all, let's keep reading. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power, signs, and lying wonders, with all deceivableness. All right, he's coming with deceivableness, man. Coming to deceive the world and deceive the people with his false miracles and things like that, man. All right, to come and deceive the world of you know, into, how do I say, worshiping and following after him. All right. Matter of fact, it's in the same chapter. Hold on. Oh, a matter of fact, I've already passed. Let me go back. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4. Let me just start at 3. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, it says, I thought I read this already. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So, hey, this is what he's going to go forth doing, man. He's going to say, hey, look, man, you know, when you go into that great temptation, it's going to come upon the whole earth to try them. All right, it's going to see, you know, to try your faith, man. All right, by enticing you to sin. All right, the Lord said, hey, look, thou shalt not have no other God before me. And this is talking to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, to the Israelites, man. All right, because, hey, man, the gods of these other nations are all idols. They're just whatever, man. You know, that's not for them. That's the Most High is not directly dealing with them. He's directly dealing with us. So, hey, we made the covenant that we wasn't going to worship no other God. Esau has us out here trying to worship him. He's going to sit in the temple of the Most High, showing he is God, so putting himself in the seat of power. In the beginning, the Most High created the heavens and the earth. All right, all the herbs of the field and that had the seeds therein after. What did Esau do? create GMO seedless food. Most High created a man and woman. All right, what did Esau do? He created 5 billion different genders and sex and things like that, man. All right, telling you can do whatever you want to go and do. All right, the Most High said, be fruitful and multiply. He tell you, hey, you don't gotta have no children, man. You know, he telling you man should be with a woman and everything. He's telling you you can be with whatever you want to be with, man. You can go marry a tree if you want to, man. You can go marry a dog if you want to, man. So Esau is showing himself that he is God in this point in time, man. And then he's about to ultimately implement this here chip. It's gonna have you out there doing what, bowing down to him, serving him, giving your all over unto him, going to him for the one of all things, man. All right, hey, that's how we supposed to be with the Most High, man. You want something, you pray to the Most High, He's gonna give it to you, man. But hey, now Esau's setting himself up in that position. It's like, hey, you want something? Take this here chip, ask me for it, praise me, worship me, put me up on high, keep me up here and reverence me and worship me and keep me in this here stead. So whenever I bring off wrought forth these miracles, all right, you know. Let me go up. Revelation 13:13. It says, and he doth great wonders so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. It says, and he deceiveth them that dwell. Give me 1 second. It says, and he, Revelation 13:13. And he doth great wonders so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. Let's read that again. Revelation 13:14. It says, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had a wound by a sword and did live. All right, and going back into let's go back to 2 Thessalonians, right? 2 Thessalonians 2:8. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So, hey, man, he's coming with all this deceivableness and all his false wonders, all his false works, all his false miracles and things like that, man. All right, he's coming into a point in time to where it's like, hey, man, you know, like your boy Elon Musk with Neuralink, you know, oh, you know, with this here electronic brain chip, we'll be able to make people who are paralyzed from the waist down be able to walk again. All right, help fight Alzheimer's, so you can bring back your memories of your loved ones. They'll never forget these things. You know, they even had, you know, some years back where they was so-called able to download and transfer your so-called consciousness, all right, to where you could basically live forever, man. They basically download your brain into the goddamn cloud or whatever, you know, and then they could put you into these little nanobot bodies and shit like that, man. It sounds far-fetched, but look up Agenda 2045, man. They have all the technology right here in your face as we speak, as you know, or it's already out here in motion for all these things to go forth, man. But this is why, you know, like the Lord say, hey, man, there was going to be a great tribulation. How's it go? We're going to come back to that and that. Matthew 24:21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there shall be no flesh saved. But for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened. So, hey, man, if we was to allow Esau to keep going on with his madness that he's got going on and everything, all right, no flesh would be saved, man. He'd be able to upload you into a goddamn computer, all right, you know, en masse, and have it, you know, where people would be able to, you know, like if you watch the movie Ready Player One, all right, where they go into the little, or the movie The Matrix, I have all these people uploaded into this goddamn thing, man. He be destroyed the earth, and you over here thinking that you know, in a eternal state of bliss and living life and everything. People, oh, what's wrong with that? Nigga, you're not really living. You're living in a fucking little life of falsehood, man. All right, it's like you see like some of these movies and videos and things like that, or even know, you might actually know some people like this for real, that sit there and play the video game all goddamn day long. They don't never come out the house. Their whole life is just a video game, and you might be around some of these people sometime, and their terminology is even in the video game, like, nigga, we in the real world. oh, I can't wait to get home and play the Sims, Call of Duty, and all these other things and everything else like that, because ultimately this is where their whole life is at, man. All right, they like, nigga, like, there's a whole real world out here. Go live in a real world. Go get you a real woman. Go get you a real house. Go get you a real this and go get you a real that, man. All right, some people was like, well, I don't really need to achieve nothing, because, you know, that's when you go into the psychology of why men in this modern era like video games, because it's a false sense of accomplishments, man. All right, men, there's like a so-called hormone or drug that releases in your mind when men get to so-called accomplish things. You know, when we get to build things, we get to accomplish things, we get to conquer things. You know, when we get to accomplish things. So look, nowadays most men are emasculated, and you know, they call it toxic masculinity. Whenever you try to go and do anything, conquer or dominate anything, you know what I'm saying? So now what? Men, they give them you know, video games and things like that. Just watch Jake out there in the basketball court in the neighborhoods and stuff like that, how they get all, you know, intimate when they playing that, yeah, I dunked on you, fuck nigga, this and that, because it's a sense of achievement. You know what I'm saying? They didn't score, yeah, I got that, you know what I'm saying? But they actually physically doing something. But now you're seeing this now in the video games, because what, men don't have, you know, like, you know, against these basketball players and football players and things like that, you know, when you see them celebrating, you have a whole group of men that ain't even that type of active nowadays, man. They don't have no sense of accomplishments. They don't go to work. They don't provide for a family. They don't build up certain things and gain certain things into their life, and, you know, have, you know, little projects that they, you know, back in the olden days, they'd be out in the backyard chopping wood and building houses and shit, putting cars together and everything else like that. They get a sense of achievement when they look back and look at it, man. I remember when I was a young man, you know, in high school and stuff, my thing was putting cars together, man. Putting rims on them, radios and shit like that, speaker boxes, always changing the shit out, always hooking my car up and everything else like that, you know, and to somebody else and they're untrained out, I'd be like, nigga, you just wasting your time with that. But that was my whole project. Like, look, I put this shit together, I created this, I created that. And you go to try to sell your car, you know, your car might be only worth $400-500 for the car itself, and another $400-500 worth of some shit just put in there. But to you, that shit was priceless. It's like, man, I put my heart, my soul, and my tears into this. This is something that I built. This is a part of me. I got a sense of accomplishment. That's why you see young Jakes, especially back in them days. I don't know if they do this like this no more, but you see young Jakes, they be riding around in they little, matter of fact, you hear the little cars rolling by, these little import type cars and everything else like that, man. Some people that's not into that be like, man, your little busted ass car making all that goddamn noise. But to that dude that's driving that car, that's his little pride and joy, because he did that himself, man. It's like, you know, they have a term like that, you know, it's better to build your car than to buy your car like that, you know, because it's a sense of pride and joy. That's what that gives you, that sense of accomplishment, man. So what, you got these guys that's playing these video games all goddamn day that give you that little sense of accomplishment. But hey, man, you know, again, they have people, like I said, that living in these worlds like that, to where you're in a constant life of bliss. Yeah, let's just say an example of that is, like, let's say on Grand Theft Auto, you know, you got a bunch of that Mustang again. You got a bunch of garages full of cars. You got a bunch of money in your bank account. Yeah, I got $4 million in my Grand Theft Auto account, but you broke in real life. I got 5 apartments on Grand Theft Auto, but you living at home with your mama. You know, I got 100 cars, but you got a bus pass in real life. So the young man that would like to live into that world more often than any, hey, man, he's fulfilled with this, man. I'm just good with this, man. I got me a little girlfriend on the game, and this, I don't need to go meet no real girl. Hey, this is, boom. This is where they would have you be at, for real, man. They would have you tapped into this here world, man, a virtual reality world, man. So, hey, Esau with these false miracles, man, hey, man, we could bring you bliss and everything else. Like I said, watch the movie Ready Player One. Go back and watch the movie The Matrix, and you realize what the real world versus the Matrix look like, and how, like the one nigga said, I know this isn't steak, you know what I'm saying, but it tastes like steak. And he said, hey, man, I want to go back. I don't want to remember anything, and I want to be an actor. Because living in the real world was too much. He had to actually go out and go do things, man. Just like I was saying about the video games, you know, certain video games you can do cheat codes to get unlimited money and everything. It's super easy. You tap the buttons. But in the real world, you want to get more money, you got to actually get up and go do some work, man. You got to go learn a skill or a trade or a labor or something like that. And you got to actually put forth work, man. It's not as easy as putting in A, B, A, C, A, B, B, A, C, and you good. You know what I'm saying? You got to goddamn actually go out and go put in some hours of the job, man. But Esau be like, look, man, we can take away all this here. You tired of stressing, you tired of living like this, plug on in, man. You can be rich as hell. We'll give you all the tokens. You could be living like, you know, like I said, Ready Player One, man. You know, they have different games like that, like The Sims, what they call Second Life. They have all these little world simulators and life simulator games like that, where people live like as if they living in their real life and everything else like that, man. But hey, this is, you know, what they're preparing the people for, man. All right, for this here global reset, this economic reset. All right, to give you what, this MOTB, the microchip, man. the great temptation that's coming upon the earth. But what, the devil is going to deceive you by what? His miracles, his technology, the things that he's able to do, man. But then he's going to be looked at as like what? Like a god, man. You're going to worship him. Oh, look, he gave us all of this here stuff in the time of all this turmoil when I was bored and I had all these things. Look, this is what he wound up giving me, man. All right, so let's read that again. This is Revelation 13 and 14. It says, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had a wound by the sword and did live. All right, so hey, he's going to be able to perform these here miracles. But let's read about these miracles, right? Verse 2 Thessalonians 2 and 9. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders with all deceivableness. So hey, this is gonna be with all deceivableness. It's not gonna be real, man. All right. You even see what Esau's pushing and promoting, like over in what is it, Japan? I think where they have those sex robots and everything else like that, man. Because the women are they're the ones that's actually working. The men aren't working and things like that. They're overpaying the women and under working the men and everything else like that. So now the women don't have an incentive with getting with none of these men. The men are dying alone and everything else like that. They're broke, and so what, they get them a little sex robot, and now they happy with that. Well, fuck it, let me just sit at home, my sex robot. She do whatever I want. I ain't got to worry about the bicker in the background. I'm just, boom. So they dine in their so-called bliss and their so-called deceivableness, these little works and wonders, these lying signs. But what is that really doing when you sit back sober up and look at everything? Oh, well, you got a zero population growth, man. The women ain't with the men ain't with the women. They not reproducing. You got population reduction. So by giving them the things that they so-called like and so-called want, you wind up destroying the people off, man. Same with like how you see what's going on over here in America with the feminism thing and letting the women go and do whatever they want to go and do and live however they want to go and live. Now what do you really have going on? You don't have families being, children being raised up in, two-parent households, deterioration of family, how you call them, like not customs, but traditions and things like that, man. And then you reprogramming them with the traditions of Babylon the Great, man. All right, doing whatever you want to go and do. Everybody's an individual. You don't have no more of a so-called team with the husband and the wife and the children all working together. They all individuals nowadays, so now you can corrupt them all individually, man. All right, but hey, you gave it to them with what? You know, that so-called sweetness, man. Like the scripture said, gift destroyeth the heart. His words were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart, man. He giving you all these so-called things that sound good, but it's really just to destroy your ass, man. All right, he's giving you with these false miracles, man. All right, this is Esau Edom, the damn devil, but what? Let me read it again. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4. Who opposeth and exalted himself all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. He the first one to tell you that there ain't no God, there ain't no higher power. We just here, Big Bang floating around and everything else like that. But then on the flip side, he like, look, y'all gonna worship anything, y'all gonna worship me. I gave you this, I gave you that, I gave you life, I gave you peaceful earth, I gave you this, I gave you food, I gave you all these things, so you should be worshiping me. It's because of me that all these things happen like this. This is because of me, all these things. So you might as well go ahead and worship me and get onto my program. Everybody else tried this and everybody else tried that, and they all made everything collapsed around you and you was doing it the old ways. But in reality, things used to prosper before Esau was in power, man. But he sold you that philosophy, man. He told you, hey, before the so-called white man came over here, the natives was over here killing each other. They were savages and things like that. Hey, before the so-called white man came over to America, guess what? The waters was clean. It wasn't polluted. You know, you can get energized by drinking up the water because of the elements that was in there from the gold that was in the water and things like that, man. All right, the rivers, the water, the air, the plants, the animals wasn't polluted. All right, you had families that was together. All right, you did have some tribal warfare here and there, but that's part of the curses that we up under. But now look at every goddamn thing, man. All right, you got the love of many waxing cold. You got mothers separated from the daughters separated from the mothers, the fathers separated from the sons. All these different things that's on the earth right about now because of why? Esau, man. Husbands hating wives, wives hating husbands, women hating men. They don't want to get married. They don't want to have kids. Women putting off the natural use of their own body in the whole sense, man. You over here getting all these body modifications to hypersexualize your goddamn self, all right, to attract these men that you don't want in the long term anyway. You just want to have sex with them, and then that's all, how you say, corrupted anyway, because what's the purpose and the use of sex is to procreate, man, reproduce. But yet and still they don't want to reproduce. They just want to go out here and goddamn have sex, man. Getting all these different men putting their semen up in you and all these different spirits on you. Now you bugged out crazy, man. This is what happens when you let the wicked man give you these false miracles. Oh, you can go do whatever you want to go do. Here's freedom, freedom, freedom. Yeah, free doom. All right, that's what the fuck you getting. You getting a free way of destroying yourself, man. This is what Esau wound up doing it to you, man. And they sit there, they plan and they plot, and they do these things behind closed doors to get you to fall for this mess, man. All right, but then at the end all be all, he attributes himself to the so-called best societies. This is what we tell you, man. This is the best society we've ever been in, and the best. This is no, nigga. This is the worst ever, man. You ain't never had shit like this was going on this bad, where people would be like sitting out here and just often they own families, they own people, they own selves and everything else, sacrificing their own goddamn self for a goddamn YouTube like, a Instagram like, a Twitter like, man. Doing all kind of mess like this, man. This is one time in history where the men ain't never want to be men, the women don't want to be women, all right? And you got a bunch of, how the script say, the mistress women giving birth to these little monsters and shit like that, man. So, hey, man, this is all the things that you have going on right about now, man. But, hey, going back into it, man, this is the damn working of the devil. Let me reread this and finish this off. It says, 2 Thessalonians 2:8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. All right, that's the key that you gotta understand, man. All the things that he got going on it's all false, man. It's all lies. It's all bullshit, man. All right, you know, all the things that he didn't try selling you, man. You realize end all be all, it's all bullshit, man. All right, you done been in multiple situations on high levels, low levels, all kind of levels, and you realize that at the end all be all, this ain't what it was chalked up to be, man. You know, you might have thought, man, I wanted me a bad bitch, man. I want me one of these fine bitches. Now you got this bad bitch that all she care about is Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and getting, validation from other men. You can't control this bitch. Now she all crazy. You want a regular bitch now. All right, you wanted a Lamborghini and shit. Yeah, well, you got a Lamborghini now, or a Hellcat. You see how much goddamn gas you putting in this goddamn Hellcat. Now you want a goddamn Honda Accord or a Toyota Corolla or some shit now. All right, oh, you want to, have all this and have all this clout and all this jewelry and everything else like that. Now everybody trying to test your gangster and kill you and rob you and everything. Now you just want to be a regular ass nigga nowadays, man. See all this bullshit that he didn't try to deceive you with. It's all with deceivableness, man. It's all BS, man. All right, this is Babylon the Great, man. This is the land of great confusion, man. All right, what seems good is actually bad, and what actually seems bad is actually good, man. All right, coming and serving the Lord. Oh, y'all gonna be broken, this and that. Well, we rich in faith, man. We rich in favor with the Lord, but you niggas is gonna perish with your riches, man. All right, continuing on. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause the Most High shall send them a strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. So, hey, man, going into that MOTB, man, you believe that, hey, look, this is going to make it better for you. You're going to be able to, hey, that great temptation is coming upon the whole earth. All right, you take this here. You think things is going to be better. Again, I give you all these damn examples. You think that life is going to be better if you got this and you got that. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing about it is, we can all, as men, we can all attest to this, and we've all seen it before, whether it happened to you or whether it happened to somebody you've seen or somebody on TV or something like that, man. You see a fine-ass woman or something like that, man, I got to get one of these women. Will and Jada, man. Prime example, man. And I ain't even got to go give you a hypothetical scenario. I can give you a real scenario with them two and everything else that's going on, man. All of a sudden, he thought he was at the height of the world and everything else like that, and, he got the baddest chick that he ever always wanted that completed him. He's got a recognizable chick that everybody would know, a so-called fine chick that everybody would know. But what did she wind up doing the whole time? Emasculating him. He had kids with her. What did she do to the kids? Turn the kids out, man. Had the little girl playing with herself at the age of 9. Had the little boy wanting to cut his rod off and wear a dress and things like that, man. Can't even be proud of your own kids, man. Like, yeah, that's my boy. Nah, that's your, he with the Decepticon, motive nowadays, man. All right, they all lost, man. Your wife over here sleeping with your son's best friend. Over here got your daughter grieving about a dead man that she wasn't even alive when this man was around. Telling him he need to come back to make her and mommy happy. Like, that ain't even your father. You wasn't even around when this nigga was alive, man. But yet and still, hey, like the scriptures say, hey, some of these women will bring you down to a crumb, man. But yet and still, this is, that the deceivableness. It look good on the outside, but it's not really good for you, man. And that's really the whole MO of Esau, man. Esau will have you like that question in your whole life, man. I should have never trusted this bitch, man. I should have never went down this here path. I should have never signed my life over. That's how you want to feel when you wake up sobering up from dealing with Esau, man. But, hey, man, we here to tell you, hey, man, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. This place is polluted. It's going to destroy you even with the sword of destruction, man. All right, though hand joining hand with the wicked, the wicked shall not go unpunished, man. It's the best thing for you is to separate yourself from this here place, man, because he's got an evil agenda aired towards you, man. All right, let me read this here precept in 2 Corinthians 11 and 13. It says, "For such false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Hamashiach." All right, you got all these people, not just in a religious sense, in a church and everything else like that, talking about some, we in a church, we are doing God's work and everything else like that. But you have some of these other people, i.e. America, man. They come in a so-called sainthood. We're a God-fearing country. We want to do what's right for everybody and everything else like that. But what are they really doing, man? Talking about something, you swear in how they call it, inauguration, right? You get inaugurated in on and swearing on the Holy Bible to uphold the laws of the scriptures and things like that. But what you pushing and promoting abortions and everything else like that, you pushing and promoting drugs and alcohol and everything else like that. This is the same nation, who went over into Afghanistan and hijacked the poppy fields to do what? To bring opioids over here to America to get these people all strung out, man. All right, this is the same place that's pushing for the multiple genders of people and everything else like that, for your little boy to become a Decepticon, your little girl to become a Decepticon, man. All right, to go out here and transform into something that they wasn't supposed to be. For them to go over there and mingle with the same gender and lay down with, the same con, man. But that's not how things were supposed to be. But yet and still, this is what they pushing, they promoting in this here place, man. So these are also false apostles, man, false leaders, man. All right, leading you astray, man. Leading you down the path of death and destruction. Verse 14, 2 Corinthians 11 and 14. Or 13, "For such false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Hamashiach. And no marvel," all right, and this is one thing that these Christians in church, they ain't never read the whole scriptures, man, because we tell you about that other white meat, the Jesus character guy. I'm like, look, that nigga's the devil, all right? The characteristics of this person that you think of as Jesus is the devil, man, all right? From the image that you see, all right, his ways and his doctrines and things like that, that's all the devil, because what do these Christians say to us when they walk up on it? Oh, John 3:16, God so loved the whole earth. That's written in the scripture, but you taking that out of context, man. All right, you taking that out of context like God loved everybody. Well, we can give you example after example after example where there's a difference, man. The Lord only cares in dealing with his people, man. When they was in Egypt, the Lord separated the children of Israel from the Egyptians. When they was with the Babylonians, the Lord separated his people from the Babylonians. When the people was up under the Romans and things like that, the Romans crucified the Lord, man. So there was always a difference between the Lord's people and the rest of these other folks out here, man. It wasn't just a big conglomeration of everybody, man. All right, but yet and still they would have you think, oh, God love everybody, this and that. No, that's what that other white meat teaches, man. All right, and then also they tell you, like in the scripture, that having blonde hair and blue eyes is basically in science what they call it recessive genes is what they call it in the scriptures, man. But in scripture, you have blonde hair, you have basically pale skin and stuff. They call that leprosy in the scriptures, man. All right, so hey, these are all curses. The Lord the Lord walking around and have not sinned. All right, if he would have had leprosy, he would have been a walking abomination. He would have been a walking sin to himself. All right, it's like, that term going into that is like basically, you are an abomination just by existing. You know what I'm saying? Not the fact that you actually did something. Like, nigga, blonde hair, that's leprosy, cuz like. You can't come into the temple like that because you already off, So the Lord didn't look like that, all right? He didn't have that kind of skin like that, man. All right, the little stories you hear about him being born on Christmas, he wasn't born on Christmas. All these things are all made up, man. All right, these are all doctrines that was made up, so let's read it again. 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and 14, it says, "And no marvel, for Satan himself, all right, Satan himself, the damn devil, all right, is transformed into an angel of light." All right, and so, hey, man, they've corrupted all these different things here, man. All right, like the scriptures say in Sodom and in Egypt. See if I can find that. Revelation 11 and 8. It says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified," man. All right, and this is the place because look, man, you can go back in time. All right, even today, man, you can look up today on Google Images the Pope and the Black Madonna, right? Over there in Europe and places like that, man, the Pope, the Catholic Church, all them, they bow down to black images, man. You know, only over here do you have them where Jake is, you know, and predominantly the Northern Kingdom bow down to that virgin, the virgin, what they painting called, the Virgin Mother and Child, I think is what it's called. All right, but that's what they call the image over here. It's called the Virgin Mother and Child, right? But over there on the other side of the globe, they call it the Black Madonna, right? So you basically have what they have, the depiction of the Virgin Mary, all right, and the Lord basically is a baby, all right, Yahushua, right? But over there is so-called black images. They're so-called black people, but over here, so-called white images, right? It's where he was crossed out at. All right, and they also made up all these different things. You know, you go over to a lot of the places on the other side of the globe, he talking about the Lord being a so-called black man. They're like, yeah, we know. The hell you mean? We know that the Lord was a black man. We know that the Israelites was black people. We know about all this. We got the paintings. You can go look up what they call the Russian icons. All right, you see all these different things, all these different images and everything else like that. They was all so-called dark-skinned black people, man. All right, but then when you go and you come over to America, all right, this is where they didn't change and whitewashed all these different things. All right, let me this is Job 9 and 24. All right, it says hang on. All right, Job 9 and 24 says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, who and where is he? And so, hey, man, you know, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. We went into that earlier about how Esau basically went into, hang on one second. Esau basically, one second, I'm trying to find this real quick. Should have probably marked it down, but Lord's will, we'll find it. I actually did mark it down. I was looking at Second Maccabees, but we'll get back to it. All right. Job 9 and 24 says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the face of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right, so like I said, you know, being transformed into an angel of light. Let me go back and read that. 2 Corinthians 11 and 14, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. All right, and so Job 9 and 24 says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And this is what Esau wound up doing when he came into power. All right, this is what you have called iconoclasm. All right, where he covered the faces of the judges. All right, whitewashed them all and everything else like that. Now, this is 1 Maccabees 3 and 48. It says, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen has sought to paint the likeness of their images. All right, so like I was explaining about the Black Madonna and things like that, man, this is what Esau wound up doing, going forth into the world and setting up his own images, whitewashing, iconoclasm, and things like that, man, to deceive the world and everything else like that, man. All right, so let's get back. 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and 13. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Hamashiach. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. All right, so hey, even the damn devil has made himself to look like as a so-called good guy out here, man. All right, they got you in these churches bowing down into him, making you think that this is the good guy in action. And then the funny part about it is when we try to tell our people about these things, they want to sit there and argue with us, man. Oh, y'all got a demon on y'all. Y'all think Jesus is the devil. Y'all something wrong with y'all. Like, nigga, you obviously ain't read your Bible, because inside your own scriptures, they tell you about it. This is why I wanted to bring out these precepts. The fact of the matter of the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right, he covered the face of the judges thereof. He laid open the books and sought to paint the images like unto his own self. All right, the devil is transformed into an angel of light. It tells you in there multiple times what they will be doing. All right, also about how they would let me grab that as well too. This is let me just get to the point. It's quite a bit of it, but let me just read a little bit. I'm gonna jump around. First Maccabees 1:41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that they should be one people, and everyone should leave his law, and so all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, also of the Israelites consented many also of the Israelites consented unto his religion, and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. All right, so now let's read for the reason why they did these things. It says let me just jump down real quick. I gotta just read all the way through. Verse 44, and the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and to the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land and forbid. It says, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifices and drink offerings and a temple, that they should profane the Sabbaths and the festival days and pollute the sanctuary and holy people. So they went to pollute the sanctuary and the holy people, man, to kick them off astray from their path of what they was doing, which is going to get into it, and set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine's flesh and uncircumcised beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanliness and profanation, to the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. So this is what they was going to do when they was going to go in and cover the face of the judges, paint the likenesses of their images, set up these damn devils, and have our people worshiping the damn devil, man, the whole time. We would never even know about it, man. We would fight tooth and nail to uphold this here wickedness, man, over and over and over and over and over again. For what end? Let me read that again. It says that they should leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanliness and profanation, to the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. Hey, it says, and whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he should die. All right, so hey, they was willing to even put you to death. And that same thing is coming back into full effect in this point in time. You know, bringing it back full circle to what the MOTB, man. This is what their plan and their agenda is, man. All right, so let me finish this here off. We're gonna finish off on that their article. We're gonna close out here shortly. It says, therefore, there's Second Corinthians chapter 11, verse 13. It says, for such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Hamashiach. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into the angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also being transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. Let me read that again. It says, 2 Corinthians 11 and 13, for such are false apostles, deceitful workers. All right, deceitful workers, man. You think that they over here planning, plotting, and strategizing to make your life better, man. When you see these niggas in these think tanks and these people that's planning and setting up agendas, all the things that you got these folks doing, whether it be the economic forums, the educational forums, all these different scenarios. You think that these people really out here planning and plotting for the betterment of your life? You really think that these people really want you to sit here and prosper and succeed? If you sit here and prosper and succeed, that means they going down and they got competition, man. All right, I always say about these things, because our people is the ones that be fighting for equality with Esau. I'm like, Esau don't want to be equal to your ass. If Esau has to become equal to you, that means Esau has to step down off his throne and pull you up. Right now, he reigning over top of you, man. How many people are the boss somewhere or ruling something or owning something that they want to sit there and get up off of their high horse and bring you up? All right, you the one got to come up on their level. They not trying to step down on your level, man. So you think when they over here with these little think tanks and all these different backroom deals and everything else like that, that they actually got the benefit of the doubt of making and letting you prosper? No, man, they trying to sit there and deceive you and overthrow you and trying to take you out of that spot and that position, man. You know, going all the way back to the very beginning, they know that they sold their birthright, man. They're trying to get that birthright back, like the scriptures say. Hey, man, if you know, you can number the stars of heaven, count the sands of the sea, all right, then the Lord will basically destroy the children of Israel. He'll break the covenant that he has with them. But hey, you can't do these things. But you got stupid ass Esau sending more and more satellites up there to count all the stars and number all the stars and everything else like that. Hey, the Most High say, look, I know the number of all the stars and I know all the names of them. I named them all. What the fuck wrong with y'all, nigga? Like, you can't even see all the stars, man. We're not gonna get too far into that, but hey, man, it's crazy because like when they out here with these satellites and things, they can only really look in one direction. They can't look in all, you know, how we can sit here and pan around all the way around, then look also up and look also down. Esau can't do all that when he's talking about space. He can only really look in one direction. You know what I'm saying? Let alone, you know, look up or look down in space. But let this nigga tell it, hey, the pride of his heart has deceived him, man. He's still trying to go for, trying to, how you say, call the Most High a liar, man. So that he can, what, destroy the children of Israel so that he can get that birthright back, man. So going back to all these here deceivableness and this deceit, his work is a deceit, man. He ain't trying to benefit you out here, man. And our people, they still think that these people have some type of benefit for them, man. The sheer fact that they have these secret councils, these think tanks, the Bilderberg groups, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Committee of 300, all these fucking groups, the CFR, well, that's the Council on Foreign Relations. They got all these different groups, what they call I just slipped my mind now, but you got a bunch of these different. You look, like I said, look up the Tavistock group, and you can see all these other group names, Rand Corporation, all these different things. Anyway, the sheer fact of the matter that they have these things should let you know that they planning, plotting, and strategizing against you. Let me grab that as a precept real quick. Let me finish this off. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers transforming themselves into the apostles of Hamashiach. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore is no great thing if his ministers also being transformed as ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. So hey, they planning and plotting and strategizing on how to take us out, but that's gonna be their own demise. All right, we'll grab these and we'll close up, but I'm gonna finish this here article real quick. All right, where's my phone? So going back into this here Bilderberg situation. Right, so let's go back up to the top. We're gonna run through them real quick. So these are the key topics for this year. Global political realignment, again, setting up the new world order. NATO challenges. You know, you got the beast starting to hate the whore. China, number 3 is China. Number 4 is Indo-Pacific realignment. You know, setting up. You know, going into wars and rumors of wars again. Also, number 5, Sino and U.S. tech competitions. You know, what is that? How they say in Psalms chapter 2? All right, about let me grab that real quick. Because when you go into that, that's going into competition between China and America. Is basically who's going to be ruling next. All right, and when you read Psalms chapter 2, it says, "Why do the heathen rage?" Psalms 2:1. "Why do the heathen rage and imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and his anointing, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us." Because they see America's about to fall, and guess what they saying? Look, we gonna have next. We gonna fill that void. We gonna fill that position. But America's trying to, you know, because China is becoming that number 1 superpower to so-called take that place. And now what you got, America's at war with China. You know, information war, Cold War, tech war, all these different things, economic. They trying to stop them from getting over top of them. But ultimately, you know, they really ultimately got power over them. But China trying to wiggle their way up out of there, man. But that's why the scriptures say, "Why do the heathen rage and imagine a vain thing?" It says, number 6, Russia. All right, you know, again, going to wars and rumors of wars. Ezekiel 38. You know, ultimately, Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 51. All right, Babylon fleeing from the iron weapon. What they gonna do? You know, number 7, continuity of government. All right, and like I said, I'm gonna split number 7 and number 8 together apart. So it says number 7, continuity of government, meaning, you know, once this here system that you know falls and they bring in new world order, all right, i.e. martial law and things like that, how's this system gonna be ran? Who's gonna be running these things? Going into 7 and 8, it says economy, and 8. So it says economy and the disruption of global financial systems, bringing in what? The MOTB. All right. Number 9, disinformation, going into what? The famine of the word. All right. Number 10, energy security and sustainability. All right. Going again into, you know, being able to buy and sell. All right. You know, having people in there that, how do I say, control by based of what? Resources, man. All right. You're going to need food. You're going to need energy. You're going to need water. You're going to need lights. You're going to need housing, man. But, hey, you ain't going to be able to buy or sell, say, he to have this here mark. All right. Post-pandemic health. All right. You know, again, going back into, hey, you need that blue verification mark. Another needs for what? The MOTB. All right. Fragmentation of democratic societies. Again, New World Order and how they're going to rule these people, right? Trade and deglobalization. Again, going back into this one world order system, man. All right, this new, they say deglobalization, but that's because they're going to have everything up under their, you know, the old system is out and the new system is in, because problem, reaction, solution. The problem is right now, we have a globalization is in effect right now. So when one thing happens over, let's say, between Russia and Ukraine, it affects the rest of the world because we're so weaved into one big network. You have multiple different sovereign countries that's trading with one another, where 2 different sovereign nations beefing with one another is going to affect a third nation. The way to solve all that is if we don't have no more nations, no more borders, we're just one big continuous place, one big continuous government. We're all one people, man. All right. 13 again, trade and deglobalization. 14, Ukraine. Again, going into wars, rumors of wars, Ezekiel 38 scenario. All right. Let me read this real quick because it'll show you about who's dealing with this. So it says, founded in 1954, the Bilderberg meeting is an annual conference designed to foster dialogue. Let me slow down because I don't want this to go over your head, because again, this is that secret council of the goddamn wicked, man. They're planning, plotting, and strategizing on how to take you out as the children of the Lord and the blessed in your blessings. Founded in 1954, the Bilderberg meeting is an annual conference designed to foster dialogue between Europe and North America. Who's sitting on those 2 places, man? Who's ruling and running? Who are the Europeans? Those are Edomites. All right, North America, who's ruling over here? Edomites. Who are we talking about in all, that's coming together in this conglomeration about who's going to do what and who's going to do where? The Edomites. All right, they're planning on global domination. All right. It says, you know, because people say, oh, no, not one man can rule the world and so on and so forth and everything else like that. Hey, man, when you look at it scripturally and biblically, the Edomites rule the world, man. And we know the family that's up on top of all these things. They don't really name them by name and everything else like that. And they kind of keep them out of the limelight, saying that they don't have that much power and pull. But these niggas still rule the whole earth, man. And they use these people as a so-called think tanks. It's like a business. All right, you may have, let's just say Jeff Bezos. This is a guy that you know, Jeff Bezos, right? Run Amazon and everything else like that, or Elon Musk with Tesla. Don't you think that Elon Musk is sitting over there designing all these different cars and everything else? No, he's got a car designer. He got the people to do the advertisement. He got people to set up the stores and everything else like that, where he can go out and do something else. Jeff Bezos ain't over here sitting there making prices for Amazon, what they gonna do with the Amazon this and do Amazon that, and how to make shit. He got a whole staff, and then a staff with a staff, and a whole other staff with another staff, and another staff with another staff to do all these different things, man. He's just delegating power. Same way with these, you know, this one top elite family. They delegate their power on down. This is just, you know, part of their management staff and what they doing. But all in all, it's the Edomites, man, ruling the earth. It says, founded in 1954, the Bilderberg meeting is an annual conference designed to foster dialogue between Europe and North America. Every year, between 120 and 140 political leaders, labor, academia, and the media are invited to take part in the meeting. About 2/3. Now, again, these infrastructures, these places, they're able to rule the world. Whether it be, like it says, political leaders, all right, your world leaders and things who can create laws, expert from industry, all right, the people who run certain things like Apple, Amazon, and things like that. Finance, all right, the bankers, labor, all right, the people in the workforce and how you say warehousing and things like that. Academia, the people in the educational system, the teacher people, and media, you know, from Disney and all the Hollywood and stuff like that to persuade and propagate these things in the CNNs and all of them, all right, are invited to take part in the meeting. About 2/3 of the participants come from Europe and the rest from North America. Approximately a quarter from the politics and governments, and the rest from other fields. Bilderberg meeting is a form of informal discussion about major issues. The meetings are held under the Chatham House rule, which states that the participants are free to use information received, but neither the identity or the affiliation of the speakers nor any other participants may be revealed, which is crazy because they actually have a link on here to show you who's all there. All right. Thanks to the private nature of the meeting, the participants take part as individuals rather than any official capacity, and hence are not bound by the conventions of their office or by pre-agreed positions. As such, they can take time to listen, reflect, and gather insight. There's no detailed agenda, no resolution, no proposed, no votes are taken, no policy statements are issued. And so again, they tell you all that bullshit, but they just tell you about what the whole agendas and the goal was going to be. Like I said, there's a link on here telling you about who all is going to be there at the meetings and everything else like that. But they said they don't show up in an official capacity saying, hey, we're not showing up. Like, for instance, you have the Secretary of State there. Well, they're not showing up on behalf of the United States. They're showing up as an individual. So now when this individual go back to work with his own insight, he think we should move this way. We think we should move that way based off of going to these meetings and things like that, man. But all this here stuff is for what? You know, let me read these last two. We'll close out after this. But all these things here is plan, plotting, and strategizing on, you know, the New World Order, the coming of this here New World Order plan and things like that to, you know, for Esau to try to continue on. All right. Actually, I got another couple precepts. We'll close out shortly, though. We want to go into... This is Psalms 83, if I can find it. Actually, I'm on the page right here. Boom. Psalms 83 and 1. It says, keep not thou silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. All right, so hey, they make a tumult, they lift up the head, they're proud, man. All right, look, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to forward our agenda. This is how we're going to do all these different things and everything else like that, man. It says, they have taken a crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. How are we going to reshape and redo all these things so that we can prevail, we can do all these different things? This is what they got going on, man. All right, this is what you don't really understand what's really going on behind these closed doors, is because their ultimate agenda is to what? For them to have this here blessing to go on forever, man. They're in their blessing right now, having dominion over the earth. They want dominion forever, man. They want to sit there and try to figure out how to disrupt the coming of hey, ultimately the MOTB, man. They trying to find a way to get the Most High to cast off his elect, man. You know what, fuck it. If we can sit, just like when Yahweh was on the scene, all right, and Moses was on the scene, they knew that somebody was going to come and deliver them. So guess what? All right, Pharaoh, kill all the little boys from this here age on now, because we don't want this dude to come up and lead the people up out of here. So if we kill them all off, they'll be here forever. You know what I'm saying? When Yahweh was born, oh shit, you know what? We see, you know, the one that they looking for is about to be born. Kill off all the little children from this here, all the little boys from this here age, so that he don't come up on the scene and we can keep them in this captivity forever. Same thing now. Hey man, we gotta propagate them with the internet and keep them brainwashed into certain things so they don't wake up to the names of the Lord. They don't start calling on the name of the Lord. We can keep them abominable, eating pork and all kind of different things, so the Lord will just keep them pushed off. And ultimately, we're gonna give them this here chip that, you know, the Lord told them not to do, or else they're gonna eat missile food. Now, if we can chip and get all the elect, let alone all the Israelites and all the elect to take this here chip, who he gonna come back to save? They're gonna all be then said basically, screw you. We don't want to be dealing with you. We'd rather be Esau's bitch. So this is what they're planning. This is what the hell they plan on doing right about now, man. And you see it being played out right before your eyes, man. Why do you think that they're spending all this money, all this here push for all these different things, man? It can't be a conspiracy. We've been telling you about these things for so long. You know, yeah, it sounded a little bit crazy, but now they coming out in the woodwork like, no, nigga, that's really what our agenda is. They wasn't really lying. We didn't want you to hear the shit. But, I mean, in reality, this is what we're really doing anyway. Yeah, they right, but what you gonna do about it? We run everything so that, look, you gonna starve and you gonna be with them, or you gonna sit here and bow down to us and we gonna feed you and we gonna be your master from here on out, man. You know what I'm saying? But then, because you know, our people are stiff-necked people, just like back in the olden days when we got relieved up out of Egypt. They was still murmuring in the wilderness, saying, at least in Egypt we had fish. At least in Egypt we was comfortable. At least in America we could watch MTV and BET. At least in America we could watch the Kardashians. At least in America we could go do some old bullshit and be on the internet twerking on Instagram and shit like that, man. Instead of having your own kingdom, man. That's why 2/3 of you niggas got to be put to death, man. Because you're just not going to get it. But let me finish this off, man. Psalms 83:1. It says, keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, and hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken a crafty counsel against thy people, and have consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And like I said, man, they wanted to, we read it a little earlier about making the children be abominable, so that, you know, they forget the laws and everything else like that. You would have a perpetual generation after generation after generation doing abominable things. Hey, just like how we was born. We was out here born and getting edges from youth, eating pork from our youth, doing all these little things, going to go worship the other white meat and everything else like that. But hey, the Lord and His Spirit is stronger than that, man. He had us wake up up out of these this BS, this slumber, this valley of the dry bones, man, and put skin back on us. And then what? We was back on our feet, calling on His name again, man. All right, so hey, man, the Lord is way more powerful than anything that Esau has. Like the scriptures say, there's no enchantment against the children of Israel. You know, roughly paraphrasing, and that's going into what? The elect. So it says, Psalms 83:3. It says, they have taken a crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. All right. Now, who are these people that are sitting down here, this think tank, in this think table? You know, it says, the tabernacles of Edom, the number one nation is what? The Edomites, so-called white man. As we, right now, like I said, you got going on this Bilderberg meeting, and this is who's the fuck's at the table right now. Planning, plotting, and strategizing against on how to take out the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, the tabernacles of Edom, the Ishmaelites, those Arabs, and of Moab, which are, you know, going into the Chinese, the Hagarenes of Gabal, you know, going into Ham, Ammon, the so-called Japanese, Amalek, the small hats, 1948ers, you know, those are a group of Edomites as well too, and Amalek, the Philistines, all right, and the inhabitants of Tyre, you know, going into you know, some Hamites, all right. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. So hey, this is what they plan on doing, man. They've all come in together as confederate against us, man. All right. This is Psalm 64. I might just read the whole chapter because it's a short chapter, but 1 through 8 is the point I want to grab. Psalm 64:1. Hear my voice, O Yahweh, and my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. All right, like I was saying earlier, man, no matter how much food, money, guns, chickens, whatever the fuck you got out there, none of that's going to save you, man. You got to have a big bag of faith, man. Big bag of investment into your spiritual bank account with Yahweh shot, man. That's the only thing that's going to save you out here, man. All right, because look, the enemy, they got unlimited so-called carnal resources, man. But like the scripture say, hey, our weapons of our warfare are not carnal. So we're going to have to fight them spiritually while they coming at us carnally, man. You can't carnally prep to fight this nigga, man. He got you a billion times over, man. They have 100-year plans. They've been planning on this shit for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, man. He out-resource you when it comes to these carnal resources, man. But we have an unlimited fun when you reach into the spiritual realm, man. All right, calling on the name of the Lord, that's all that we need. All right. It says, hear my voice, O Yahweh, and my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. All right, the secret counsel of the wicked, man, the Bilderbergs, man. Not just them, but all these other think tanks and groups, what they plan on doing to you people, man. All right, this, again, this ain't no conspiracy, man. You know, in the times of people talking about conspiracy theories and all this, this and that, man. Hey, man, this the time now is where, like the scripture say, the devil's come down to you having great wrath because he knows he have but a short time. All right, we call it now. He rolling around like Future said, mask off, fuck it, mask off. He being revealed, man. The son of perdition, he's revealed. He's rolling around here, mask off, just showing forth to who he is, man. So now there's no excuse. His whole agenda is out in the forefront, man. Like I said, he's not sitting here telling you, oh, this is a conspiracy. You got to find this on this, that. No, it's on the regular news sites, the regular websites. We just read about how they don't conceal who's at the meetings and the agendas. But on that same website, they tell you who's actually at the meeting and what their actual agendas is. So it's not hiding it. It's in plain sight. All right, but let's finish this off. Psalm 64:1. Hear my voice, O Yahweh, and my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. All right, from them coming up. All right, who whet their tongues like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even the bitter words. All right, their secret counsel, their how you say, their enchantments, their witchcraft, and everything else like that. Their secret dialogues and what they want to do. All right, and you read and you talk about some of these different things when they say about global sustainability and everything else like that. A lot of those terms like sound so-called good, but what does it really mean? Killing off and culling the rest of the people, man. All right. That they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately and say, who shall see them? So like I was just saying, man, they would say, you know, in their minds, hey, man, look, you know, this is a secret committee. This is what we got going on and everything else like that. But ultimately, it's the time now, like scripture say, hey, the vision's yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, will surely come, it will not lie. The son of perdition is being revealed. How was the things Esau sought up and the secret things searched out? Hey, man, the Lord will do nothing but reveal his secrets to his servants, the prophets, man. All right, the prophets have consumed them with the spirit of his mouth, man. So now we out here letting you know about all these things, and now it's out in the woodwork. Now is the time for these things to be exposed. Now Esau's even putting these things out in the forefront, man. All right. It says, they search out iniquity, they accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. All right. So, hey, they like I said, they have 100-year plans. They research all these things. They have the heads of these different platforms and things like that to see how people move and react and how they would do with certain things. You know, you look up your man Edward Bernays and what's his uncle's name? Sigmund Freud or whatever this nigga's name was. But Edward Bernays, this nigga's the father of propaganda and finding out how the minds work and everything else like that to get you to crave and to buy whatever the fuck he wants you to buy, man. Propaganda and advertising, man. This is some wicked ass witchcraft that these people do. But hey, they know how to control your minds with these things, man. You don't even realize you're being controlled by these things. Your thoughts ain't even your thoughts, man. These things have been programmed into your mind, man. How the hell you desire some McDonald's? You wouldn't even know what McDonald's is naturally until they didn't put that thought into your mind and made you think that it's your own. All right. It said, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly they shall be wounded, so that they will make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, and all that see them shall flee away. And that's going into what those whistleblowers, man. So, hey, you know, you have certain people, like I said, the Alex Jones. You know, not to say that, take everything we say as gospel, but like I said, the Nick Russo and the Aaron Russo and the Nick Rockefeller scenario, talking about the chip, how they wanted their planners to chip everybody, how they wanted to go into the caves looking for an invisible boogeyman and everything else like that. Hey, man, go back and look up that video, man. Everything that man said back in those days all came true, man. All right, so, hey, you have people like that are called whistleblowers that are blowing the whistle on these things. It's telling you about these things that's coming to pass before they come to pass. And now you even have it coming out the horse's mouth where they telling you about these things, man. Where they're sitting over there telling you, like, this is our plan, this is our agenda, this is our meeting, this is where we meeting at, so on and so forth. It's no longer a conspiracy about, you know, back in the days. You know, I remember when I first found out about the Bilderberg meeting and things like that, that it was like so-called secretive. You didn't know who was there. They didn't, you know, they had security upon security upon security upon security. You know, things like the Davos meeting, the World Economic Forum meetings, Council on Foreign Relations meetings, Trilateral Commission meetings, Committee of 300 meetings. All these meetings used to be secret as fuck, man, and like you wouldn't know what the hell was going on. But nowadays they got them on their websites where they tell you what the hell's going on into it, man. Because not only do you have whistleblowers that infiltrated these things, but now they're coming out and telling you about these things nowadays, man. All right, because we at the end all be all where all these things is being made manifest, man. The books are being opened before the firmaments, and now everybody's gonna see all together, man. That what the Lord was is gonna reign supreme, man. He had his prophets out here telling you about these things from Jump Street, and so what? This is all the truth, man. All right, hey, you either believe the Lord or you gonna believe a delusion, or you gonna believe this here lie, and you gonna be pricked there with at the end. The scriptures say, hey, never trust thy enemy, man. These are your enemies that's plotting, strategizing against you, man. These are your enemies that are plotting against your downfall. Let me finish this off. And all men shall fear, and they shall declare the work of the Most High, for they shall wisely consider his doings. The righteous shall be glad in the Lord, and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. Yeah, because like I just said, man, consider all these things, man. The Lord told us about all these things before they came to pass. Now we've seen them all being made manifest. They all coming to pass. So, hey, how much more when the Lord promised that he was going to deliver us, man? All right, so, hey, that's where our faith should be. Instead of these other people finding out that, hey, damn, they dealing with the devil the whole damn time. Now what are we going to do? Now how should we fare? But, hey, you know, that's why the scripture says, seek the Lord while he may be found, man. All right, I'm going to actually close out with this last precept. And, matter of fact, I got 2 precepts to close out with. This is Job 5, and I'm going to start at verse 12. It says, he disappointed the device of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. So, hey, the Most High said he disappointed the device of the crafty so their hands cannot perform their enterprise, which is what? Their new world order. All right? So this is the point in time where, you know, Esau is coming out with his whole plan, showing forth what he's planning on doing and everything else like that, but ultimately it's going to end in his own downfall. All right? And here's how it ends. Job chapter 20, verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, and every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fear of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So, hey, he's this close to getting everything done. All right, so, hey, and you see the wars and rumors of wars, but look, he thinks that these things are going to go his own way, but ultimately the Lord's going to, hijack the missiles, put his spirits in the missiles, and then direct them the way he wanted to direct, because like the scriptures say, one more precept real quick, and this is in the book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. So, hey, man, you know, they think, like we also read in Obadiah, those that was confederate with thee, those that was at peace with thee, have deceived thee and brought you even to the border. So, hey, they're going to think that these things is going to be going in their favor and everything else like that. But at the end all be all, the Most High is going to hijack his plan. And let's read it. All right. Job chapter 20, verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, and every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fear of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So, hey, when he's about to fill his belly, that's when the Most High is going to bring everything down upon him. It says, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. All darkness shall be hid, and his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. So ultimately, you know, this is going to go all up in flames in his face, man. Those thermonuclear missiles, man, it's going to all rain down upon him. It's going to crash his parade, man. And as we see, hey, the times is getting more, you know, things is becoming more and more manifest from the advancement of this weaponry. It's going to take Esau out. All right, the relationships that's deteriorating between him and his NATO allies. All right, you know, the MOTB being pushed forward. All right, the counsel of the wicked being revealed. All right, and all these different things is coming out on the woodworks. We see all these things happening right before our eyes, so we know salvation is nearer than what we believe. But I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, the elect was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rakak Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders, the great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, I can push in this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.